Welcome to Classics on Twitch. Today the players present a performance of Shakespeare's Winter's Tale. First published in 1623, Winter's Tale is often considered one of Shakespeare's problem plays, where a tragedy or problem is to be resolved by the end of the play. The tale plays out between the kingdoms of Sicily and Bohemia, focusing on themes of love, obsession, power, and forgiveness. The stage is set. The players are ready. Let us join them in Sicily for The Winter's Tale.
Hello everyone and welcome. Good morning. It is a Tuesday and we are all back to join you for some more Classics on Twitch. This will be quite an entertaining enterprise. We are all here for one of the more entertaining plays Shakespeare has ever written. But we will begin by going around and introducing yourselves, letting us all know what's going on. First of all, starting clockwise, Pope, thank you again for your wonderful dulcet tones in the introduction. We all appreciate it so much.
Just glad to be able to help. Hey everybody, Pope here. Just, it's that time. It's start of the week, really, or at least start for me. As we get on with The Winter's Tale, and one of Shakespeare's problem plays, and we get to do some of the silly. Do pay attention for the ridiculousness of bear.
Ridiculous bear is a thing in this play. Just throwing it out there. And next up, Kat, thank you for being here. Thank you for getting up this morning.
Of course, anytime for you. Hi, I'm Kat, and I think my favorite historical note about this play is it is unknown if Shakespeare used bears from the bear fighting pits or if he costumed one of his actors as a bear. Just the idea of them turning loose a bear on stage with actors that had been in fighting pits gives a whole new context to Exeunt pursued by bear.
Yep.
Including most of the audience, I'm sure. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to this. This play is tonally everywhere. So buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yep. This is a play that is just if it were a few years later, you might be asking, hey, Bill, what were you taking when you wrote this? We just need to know. But thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining us. This is the wonderful, fun time that is Classics on Twitch. And we all are going to do a live production, full unabridged, of The Winter's Tale. And because we know that sometimes these are hard to follow, and we want all of our players to be on the same page, we have the same script, and we have the option for you in chat to follow along with that exact script as soon as the bot wakes up. Hey, bot. Oh, nope, there it is. It was just asleep, you know, we had to wake it up, roll it, you know, it's Tuesday for it as well. So we do have the same script. Feel free to follow along. Wait, I have to fix a thing because that's not the right command. I'm a smart person. It's a Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. We all awake. So the script command will be fixed in a second. Here is the feel free to follow along on this wonderful option from Open Source Shakespeare. There you go. This should now be correct. Yay, there we go. And then we also have, because we understand that there are a number of characters to keep straight in this, we have the command so that you can help follow along with the number of characters that are in here from our dear friends over at SparkNotes. There is no shame in using SparkNotes for added information. Just don't rely only on that for your papers, people. Your teacher knows. Speaking as a high school teacher, we know if the only thing you use was SparkNotes. It's real obvious. But we also recognize that Shakespeare, as fun as he was, as great as he wasn't always as, His word choice was sometimes a little, not so great.
Reflective of his time.
Reflective of his time. Reflective of his time is a good option. So we like to make sure we thank Bill for all of his wonderful choices that may or may not be so great. But I think we've covered everything. And if we have no further questions, comments, queries, thoughts, concerns, quandaries, fears, and or inquiries, I believe it is time to dive into The Winter's Tale. Act 1, Scene 1, the antechamber of Leonatus Palace in Sicily. Enter Camillo and Archidamius.
If you shall chance, Camillo, to visit Bohemia on the like occasion where all my services are now on foot, you shall see, as I have said, great difference betwixt our Bohemia and your Sicilia.
I think this coming summer the King of Sicilia means to pay Bohemia the visitation which he justly owes him.
Wherein our entertainment shall shame us, we will be justified in our loves, for indeed...
Beseech you.
Verily, I speak it in the freedom of my knowledge. We cannot, with such magnificence in so rare, I know not what to say. We will give you sleepy drinks that your senses, unintelligent of our insufferance, may, though they cannot praise us, as little accuse us.
You pay a great deal too dear for what's given freely.
Believe me, I speak as my understanding instructs me, and as mine honesty puts it to utterance.
Sicilia cannot show himself overkind to Bohemia. They were trained together in their childhoods, and there rooted betwixt them such an affection which cannot choose but branch now, since their more mature dignities and royal necessities made separation of their society. Their encounters, though not personal, have been royally attorneyed with interchange of gifts, letters, loving embassies, that they have seemed to be altogether, though absent, shook hands over a vast and embraced, as it were, from the ends of opposed winds. The heavens continue their loves.
I think there is not in the world either malice or matter to alter it. You have an unspeakable comfort of your young Prince Mamilius. It is a gentleman of greatest promise that ever came into my note.
I very well agree with you in the hopes of him. It is a gallant child, one that indeed physics the subject, makes old hearts fresh. They that went on crutches ere he was born desire yet their life to see him a man.
Will they else be content to die?
Yes, if there were no other excuse why they should desire to live.
If the king had no son, they would desire to live on crutches till he had one.
Act 1, Scene 2. A room of state in the same. Enter Leontes, Hermione, Mamilius, Polyxenes, Camillo, and a whole bunch of attendants. Nine shepherds of the watery star hath been the shepherd's note since we have left our throne without a burden. Time as long again would find up, my brother, with our thanks, and yet we should, for perpetuity, go hence in debt, and therefore, like a cipher, yet standing in rich place, I multiply. With one we thank you, many thousands more that go before it.
Stay your thanks a while, and pay them when you part.
Sir, that is tomorrow. I am questioned by my fears of what may chance our breed upon our absence. that may blow no sleeping winds at home, to make us say, this is put forth too truly. Besides, I have stayed to tire your royalty.
We are tougher, brother, than you can put us to't.
No longer stay.
1 7 night longer.
Very soon, tomorrow.
We'll part the time betweens then, and in that I'll no gainsaying.
Press me not, I beseech you so. There is no tongue that moves, none in the world, so soon as yours could win me, so it should now. It were then necessity upon your request, although 'twere needful I denied it. My affairs do drag me homeward, which to hinder were in your love a whip to me. My stay to you a charge and trouble, to save both. Farewell, brother.
Tongue-tied our queen, speak you.
I had thought, sir, to have held my peace until you have drawn oaths from him not to stay. You, sir, charge him too coldly. Tell him you are sure all in Bohemia is well. This satisfaction the bygone day proclaimed. Say this to him. He's beat from his best ward.
Well said, Hermione.
To tell he longs to see his son were strong, but let him say so then, and let him go. But let him swear so, and he shall not stay. We'll thwack him hence with distaffs, yet of your royal presence I'll adventure the borrow of a week. When at Bohemia you take, my lord, I'll give him my commission to let him there a month behind the jest, prefixed for a parting. Yet good deeds, Leonides, I love thee, now to jar the clock behind. What lady she, her lord? You'll stay?
No, madam.
Nay, but you will?
I may not, verily.
Verily, you put me off with limber vows. But I, though you would seek to unsphere the stars with oaths, should yet say, Sir, no going. Verily, you shall not go. A lady's verily is as potent as a lord's. Will you go yet? Force me to keep you as a prisoner? Not like a guest. So you shall pay your fees when you depart and save your thanks. How say you, my prisoner or my guest? By your dread, verily, one of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam. To be your prisoner should import offending, which is for me less to commit than you to punish.
Not your jailer, then, but your kind hostess. Come, I'll question you of my lord's tricks, and yours when you were boys. You were pretty lordlings then?
We were, fair queen. Two lads that thought there was no more behind but such a day tomorrow as today, and to be a boy eternal.
Was not my lord the verier wag of the two?
We were as twinned lambs that did frisk in the sun, and bleat the one at the other. What we changed was innocence for innocence. We knew not the doctrine of ill-doing, nor dreamed that any did. Had we pursued that life, and our weak spirits ne'er been higher reared, with stronger blood we should have answered heaven, boldly, not guiltily. The imposition cleared, our heredity ours.
But this we gather you have tricked since?
Oh, my most sacred lady, temptations have since then been born twos, for is those unfledged days was my wife a girl. Your precious self had then not crossed the eyes of my young playfellow.
Grace to boot. Of this make no conclusion, lest you say your queen and I are devils. Yet go on. The offenses we have made you will answer if you first sinned with us, and that with us you did continue fault, and that you slipped not with any but us.
Is he won yet?
He'll stay, my lord.
At my request he would not. Hermione, my dearest, thou never spokest to better purpose.
Never.
Never but once.
What? I have twice said well. What when wasn't before? I prithee tell me, crams with praise and makes us as fat as tame things. One good deed, dying tongueless, slaughters 1,000 waiting upon that. Our praises are our wages. You may ride with one soft kiss 1,000 furlongs, ere with spur we beat an acre. But to the goal. My last good deed was to entreat his stay. What was my first? It has an elder sister, or I mistake you? Oh, would her name be Grace? But once before I spoke to the purpose. When? Nay, let me have it. I long.
Why, that was when 3 crabbed months had soured themselves to death, ere I could make thee open thy white hand and clap thyself my love. Then didst thou utter, I am yours forever.
'Tis grace indeed. Why, lo you now, I have spoke to the purpose twice. The one for the one forever earned a royal husband, the other for some while a friend.
Too hot, too hot. To mingle friendship far as mingling bloods. I have tremor cordis on me. My heart dances, but not for joy, not joy. This entertainment may a free face put on, derive a liberty from heartiness, from bounty, fertile bosom, and well become the agent that may I grant but to paddling palms and pinching fingers, as now they are, and making practice smiles, as in a looking glass, and then to sigh as twere the mort of the dear, oh that is entertainment. My bosom likes not, nor my brows. Mamilius, art thou my boy?
Ay, good lord, my good lord.
Aye, fex. Why, that's my bawcock. What hast smutched thy nose? Thy say it is a copy out of mine. Come, Captain. We must be neat, not neat, but cleanly, Captain. And yet the steer, the heifer, and the calf are all called neat, still virginaling upon his palm. How now, you wanton calf? Art thou my calf?
Yes, if you will, my lord.
Thou wasn't a rough patch in the shoots that I have to be full like me, yet they say we are almost as like as eggs. Women say so. That will say anything but were they false, as dyed blacks, as wind as waters, false as dice, ought to be wished by one that fixes no bone twixt his and mine. Yet were it true to say this boy were like me. Come, Sir Page, look on me with thou welkin eye, sweet villain. Most dearest, my collop, can thy dam mate be affection? The intention stabs the center. Thou dost make possible things not so held. Communicatest with dreams. How could this be? What with what's unreal thou coactive art, and fellowst nothing, then 'tis very credence thou mayest conjoin with something, and thou dost, and that beyond commission, and I find it, and that of the infection of my brains and hardening of my brows.
What means Julia?
He seems something unsettled.
How, my lord? What cheer? How's it with you, best brother?
You look as if you held a brow of much distraction. Are you moved, my lord?
No, in good earnest, how sometimes nature will betray its folly, its tenderness, and make itself a pastime to harder bosoms. Looking on the lines of my boy's face, methoughts I did recoil 23 years. Saw myself unbreeched in my green velvet coat, my dagger muzzled, lest it should bite its master, and so prove, as ornaments oft do, too dangerous. How like, methought, I then was to this colonel, this squash, this gentleman. My honest friend, will you take eggs for money?
No, my lord. I'll fight.
You will? Why, happy man be's dole, my brother. Are you so fond of your young prince as we do seem to be of ours?
If at home, sir, he's all my exercise, my mirth, my matter, now my sworn friend and then mine enemy, my parasite, my soldier, statesman, all. He makes a July's day short as December, and with his varying childness cures in my thoughts that would thick my blood.
So stands the squire, officed with me, who too will walk, my lord, and leave you to your graver steps. Hermione, how thou lovest us. Show in our brother's welcome. Let what is dear in Sicily be cheap. Next to thyself and my young rover, he is a parent to my heart.
If you would seek us, we are yours in the garden. Shall you attend there?
To your own bents dispose you, he'll be found, be you beneath the sky. I am angling now, though you perceive me not how I give line. Go to, go to! How she holds up the neb, the bill to him, arms her with the boldness of a wife to her allowing husband. Got all ready. Inch thick, knee deep overhead, and ears a forked one. Go play, boy, play. Thy mother plays, and I play too, but so disgraced a part, whose issue will hiss me to my grave. Contempt and clamor will be my knell. Go play, boy, play. There have been, oh, I am much deceived Cuckold's ear now, and many a man there is, even at this present. Now, while I speak this, holds his wife by the arm. That little thinks she has been sluiced in its absence, and his pond fished by his next neighbor, by Sir Smile, his neighbor. Nay, there's comfort in it, whilst other men have gates, and those gates opened, as mine against their will. Should all despair to have revolted wives, the tenth of mankind would hang themselves. Physic for there is none. It is a body planet that will strike where 'tis predominant and 'tis powerful. Think it. From east, west, north, and south be it concluded. No barricado for a belly. Note, it will let in and out the enemy with bag and baggage. Many thousands ons have the disease and feel it not. How now, boy?
I am like you, they say.
Why, that's some comfort. What Camillo there?
Aye, my lord.
Go play, Mamilius. Thou'rt an honest man. Camillo, this great sir will yet stay longer?
You had much to do to make his anchor hold. When you cast out, it still came home.
Didst know it?
He would not stay at your petitions, made his business more material.
Didst perceive it? They're here with me already, whispering, rounding. Cecilia is so forth, 'tis far gone. When I shall gust it last, how came Camilla that he did stay?
At the good queen's entreaty.
At the queen's beat, good should be pertinent, but so it is not. Was this taken? By any understanding, pate but thine, for thy conceit is soaking, will draw in more than the common blocks, not notedist, but of the finer natures. By some severals of headpiece extraordinary, lower messes perchance are to this business purblind, say.
Business, my lord. I think most understand Bohemia stays here longer. Stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness in the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
Satisfy? The entreaties of your mistress satisfy? Let that suffice. I have trusted thee, Camillo, with all the nearest things to my heart, as well my chamber counsels, wherein priest-like thou hast cleansed my bosom. I from thee departed, thy penitent reformed, but we have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seems so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
To bide upon it, thou art not honest. Or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, which hoaxes honesty behind, restraining from course required, or else thou must be counted as servant grafted in my serious trust, and therein negligent, or else a fool, that seest a game played home, the rich stake drawn, and takest my all for jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish, and fearful. In every one of these no man is free, but that his negligence, his folly, fear among the infinite doings of the world sometimes put forth. In your affairs, my lord, if I were ever wilful negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence. Not weighing well the end, if ever fearful to do a thing where I the issue doubted, where the execution did cry out against the non-performance, 'twas a fear against which oft infects the wisest. These, my lord, are such awful loud infirmities that honesty is never free of. But beseech your grace, be plainer with me. Let me know my trespass by its own visage. If I then deny it, 'tis none of mine.
But you've seen, Camillo. But that's past doubt you have, or your eyeglass is thicker than a cuckold's horn. Or heard. For to a vision so apparent rumor cannot be mute, or thought. For cogitation resides not in that man that dost not think. My wife is slippery? If thou wilt confess, or else be impudently negative, to have nor eyes, nor ears, nor thought, then say my wife's a hobby horse. Deserves a name as rank as any flax wench that puts to before her troth plight. Say it and justify it.
I would not be as stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so, without my present vengeance taken. Shrew my heart, you never spoke what did become you less than this, which to reiterate were sin as deep as that, though true.
Is whispering nothing? Is leaning cheek to cheek? Is meeting noses, kissing with inside lip? Stopping the career of laughing with a sigh? A note infallible of breaking honesty, horsing foot to foot? Skulking in corners? Wishing clocks more swift, hours, minutes, noon, midnight? And all eyes blind with the pin and web but theirs only, that would be unseen to be wicked? Is this nothing?
Good my
Why
lord.
then the world and all that is in it is nothing. The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia, nothing. My wife is nothing. Nor nothing have these nothings, if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and betimes, for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be, 'tis true.
No, my lord.
It is. You lie. You lie. I say thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee a gross lout, mindless slave, or else a hovering temporizer, that canst with thine eyes at once see good and evil, inclining to them both. Were my wife's liver infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like a medal hanging about his neck, Bohemia, who, if I had servants true about me, that bear eyes to see alike mine honor as their profits, their own particular thrifts, they would do that which should undo more doing. I, and thou his cupbearer, whom I from meaner from have benched and reared to worship, who mayst see, plainly as heaven sees earth, and earth sees heaven, how I am galled. I bespice a cup to give mine enemy a lasting wink, which draught to me were cordial.
Sir, my lord, I could do this, and that with no rash potion, but with a lingering jam that should not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress. So sovereignty being honorable, I have loved thee.
Make that thy question and go rot. Dost think I am so muddy, so unsettled, to appoint myself in this vexation, sully the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted is goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps, give scandal to the blood, the prince my son, who I do think is mine, and love is mine, without right moving to it. Will I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, sir. I do, and will fetch off Bohemia for it, provided that, when he's removed, your highness will take again your queen as yours first, even for your son's sake, and thereby sealing the injury of tongues in courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Thou dost advise me, even so as I mine own course have set down. I'll give no blemish to her honor, none.
My lord, go then, and with a countenance as clear as friendship, at feasts, keep with Bohemia, and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the one half of my heart. Do it not, thou spillst thy own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly, as thou hast advised me.
O miserable lady! But for me, what case stands I in? I must be poisoner of good Polynesies, and ground to do it is the obedience to a master, one who in rebellion with himself will have all that is his so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find an example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'd not do it. But since no brass, no stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake the court. To do it or no is certain to me a breakneck. Happy star, reign now. Here comes Bohemia. This is strange, methinks. My good favour here begins to warp, not speak. Good day, Camillo. Hail, most royal sir. What is the news in the court? None rare, my lord. The king hath on him such a countenance as he has lost some province and a region he loved as he loves himself. Even now I met him with a customary compliment, when he, wafting his eyes to the contrary, and falling a lip of such contempt, speeds from me, so leaves me to consider what is breeding that changes thus his manners. I dare not know, my lord. How? Dare not? Do not. Do you know, and dare not? Be intelligent to me. 'Tis thereabouts. For if yourself what you do know you must, and cannot say you dare not. Good Camillo, you changed complexions are to me a mirror, which shows me mine changed too, for I must be a party to this alteration, finding myself thus altered with it. There is a sickness which puts some distemper, but I cannot name the disease, and it is caught of you that yet are well. Oh? Caught of me? Make me not slighted like the basilisk. I have not looked on thousands who have sped the better, by my regard, but killed none so. Camillo, art thou certainly a gentleman thereto? Clerk-like, experienced, which no less adorns our gentry than our parents' noble names, in which success we are gentle. I beseech you, if you know not aught which does behove my knowledge thereof to be informed, imprisoned it not in ignorant concealment. I may not answer. Sickness caught of me, and yet I well. I must be answered. Dost thou hear, Camillo? I conjure thee, by all the parts of man, which honour does acknowledge, wherefore of the least is not this suit of mine, that thou declare what indecency thou dost guess of harm is creeping towards me. How far off? How near? Which way to be prevented, if to be? If not, how best to bear? Sir, I will tell you, since I am charged in honour and by him that I think honourable. Therefore mark my counsel, which must be even as swiftly followed as I mean to utter it, for both yourself and me cry lost, and so good night. On, good Camillo. I am appointed him to murder you. By whom, Camillo? By the king. For what? He thinks, nay, with all confidence he swears that that he had seen or been an instrument to vice you to it, that you have touched his queen forbiddenly. Oh, then my best blood turn to an infected jelly, and my name be yoked with his that did betray the best. Turn then my freshest reputation to a savour that may strike the dullest nostril when I arrive, and my approach be shunned, nay, hated too, worse than greatest infection that e'er were heard of read. Swear his thought over by each particular star in heaven, and by all their influences. You may as well forbid the sea for to obey the moon, as or by oath remove or counsel shake the fabric of his folly, whose foundation is plied upon his faith, and will continue the standing of his body. How should this grow? I know not, but I am sure 'tis safer to avoid that groan than question how 'tis born. If therefore you dare trust my honesty, what lies enclosed in this trunk, which you shall bear along in pond away tonight, your followers will whisper to the business, and will by twos and threes at several posterns clear them of the city. For myself, I'll put my fortunes at your service, which are here for this discovery lost. But not uncertain, for by the honor of my parents I have uttered truth, which if you seek to prove, I dare not stand by, nor shall you be safer than one condemned by the king's own mouth, thereon his execution sworn. I do believe thee. I saw his heart in his face. Give me thy hand. Be pilot to me, and thy places shall still neighbour mine. My ships are ready, and my people expect my hence departure 2 days ago. This jealousy is for precious creature, as she's rare and must be great, and as his person's mighty must be violent, and he does conceive he is dishonoured by a man which ever professed to him, why his revenge must be in that be made more bitter. Fear overshadows me. Good expedition, my friend, and comfort the gracious queen, part of his theme, but nothing of his ill taken suspicion. Come, Camillo, I will respect thee as a father, if thou bearest my life off hence. Let us avoid. It is mine authority to command the keys of all the posterns. Please, your highness, to take this urgent hour. Come, sir, away.
Take the boy to you. He so troubles me, 'tis past enduring.
Come, my gracious lord, shall I be your playfellow?
No, I'll none of you.
Why, my sweet lord?
You'll kiss me hard and speak to me as if I were a baby still. I love you better.
And why so, my lord?
Not for because your brows are blacker, yet black brows, they say, become some women best, so that there be not too much hair there, but in a semicircle or a half moon made with a pen.
Who taught you this?
I learnt it out of women's faces. Pray now, what color are your eyebrows?
Blue, my lord?
Nay, that's a mock. I've seen a lady's nose that has been blue, but not her eyebrows.
Hark ye, the queen your mother rounds apace. We shall present our services to a fine new prince one of these days, and you'll wanton with us if we would have you.
She is spread of late, into good bulk. Good time encounter her.
What wisdom stirs amongst you? Come, sir, now I am for you again. Pray you, sit by us, and tell's a tale. Merry or sad shall it be? As merry as you will. A sad tale's best for winter. I have one of sprites and goblins. Let us have that, good sir. Come on, sit down. Come on, do your best to fright me with your sprites. You're powerful at it. There was a man. Nay, come, sit down, and then on. Dwelt by a churchyard. I will tell it shortly. Yon crickets shall not hear it. Come on, then. and gives me in mine ear.
Enter Leontes with Antigonus, lords and others.
Was he met there, his train, Camilla with him?
Behind the tuft of pines, I met them. Never saw our men scour so on their way. I eyed them even to their ships.
How blessed am I in my just censure, in my true opinion. Alack, for lesser knowledge, how cursed being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink depart, and yet partake no venom, for his knowledge is not infected. But if one present the abhorred ingredient to his eye make known how he hath drunk, he cracks his gorge, his sides, with violent heths. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camilla with his help in this, his pander. There is a plot against my life, my crown. All's true that is mistrust. That false villain whom I employed was pre-employed by him. He has discovered my design, and I remain a pinched thing, yea, a very trick for them to play at that at will. How came the posterns so easily open?
By his great authority, which often hath no less prevailed than so on your command.
I know it too well. Give me the boy. I'm glad you did not nurse him, though he does bear some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this? Sport?
Bear the boy hence. He shall not come about her. Away with him. And let her sport herself with that she's big with. For 'tis Polizines has made thee swell thus.
But I'd say he is not, and I'll be sworn you would believe my saying, howe'er you lean to the nay word.
You, my lords, look on her. Mark her well. Be but about to say she is a good lady. And the justice of your beards will thereto add, 'tis pity she's not honest, honorable. Praise her but for this her with outdoor form, which on my faith deserves high speech and straight the shrug, the hum or ha, these petty brands that calumny doth use. Oh, I am out. That mercy does, for calumny will sear virtue itself. These shrugs, these hums and ha's. When you have said she's goodly, come between, ere you can say she's honest, but be it known from him that has most cause to grieve it should be, she's an adulteress.
Should a villain say so? The most replenished villain in the world. He were as much more villain. You, my lord, do but mistake.
You have mistook my lady Polizines for Leontes, O thou thing, which I'll not call a creature of thy place, lest barbarism, making me the precedent, should a like language used to all degrees in mannerly distinguishment leave out betwixt the prince and beggar. I have said she's an adulteress. I have said with whom. More, she's a traitor, and Camillo is a federary with her, and one that knows what she should shame to know herself, but with her most vile principle, that she's a bed swerver, even as bad as those that vulgars give boldest titles, aye, and privy to this their late escape.
No, but my life, privy to none of this. How will this grieve you, when you shall come to clear knowledge that you thus have published me? Gentle, my lord, you scarce can write me thoroughly than to say you did mistake.
No. If I mistake in those foundations which I build upon, the center is not big enough to bear a schoolboy's top. Away with her to prison. He who shall speak for her is a far off guilty, but that he speaks.
Some ill planet reigns. I must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. Good, my lords, I am not prone to weeping, as our sex commonly are. They want to which vain do, perchance, shall dry your pities. But I have that honorable grief lodged here, which burns worse than tears drown. Beseech you all, my lords, With thoughts so qualified as your charities, thou shalt best instruct you. Measure me, and so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Who is it that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women may be with me, for you see my plight requires it. Do not weep, good fools. There is no cause. When you shall know your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears as I come out. This action I now go on, is for my better grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry. Now I trust I shall. My women, come. You have leave.
Go, do our bidding hence.
Exit Hermione, guarded by the ladies. With the ladies. Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence, in which three great ones suffer, yourself, your queen, and your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down, and will do it, sir. Please, you to accept it that the queen is spotless on the eyes of heaven, and to you, I mean in this which you accuse her.
If it prove she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodged my wife. I'll go in couples with her, and then when I feel and see her no farther trust her. For every inch of woman in the world, every dram of woman's flesh is false as she be. Hold your peaces.
Good my lord.
It is for you we speak, not for ourselves. You are abused and by some putter on that will be damned for it. When I knew the villain, I would land damn him. For she honor flawed. I have 3 daughters. The eldest is 11, the second and the third 9, and some 5. If this prove true, they'll pay for it by mine honor. I'll geld them all. 14 they shall not see. To bring false generations, they are co-heirs, and I should rather glib myself than they should not produce fair issue. Cease, no more. You smell this business with a sense as cold as is a dead man's nose. But I do not see it and feel it. As you feel doing thus, and see with all the instruments that feel. If it be so, we need no grave to bury honesty. There's not a grain of it in the face to sweeten the whole dungy earth. What, lack I credit?
I had rather you did lack than I, my lord, upon this ground, and more it would content me to have her honor true than your suspicion, be blamed for it how you might.
Why, what need we commune with you of this, but rather follow our forceful instigation? Our prerogative calls not your counsels, but our natural goodness imparts this, which if you or stupefied or seeming so in skill cannot or will not relish a truth like us. Inform yourselves, we need no more your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on it is all properly ours. And I wish, my liege, you had only in your silent judgment tried it without more overture. How could that be? If thou art most ignorant by age, or thou wert born a fool. Camillo's flight added to their familiarity, which was as gross as ever touched conjecture. That lacked slight only, not for approbation, but only seeing. All other circumstances made up to the deed doth push on this proceeding. Yet, for greater confirmation, for an act of this importance, 'twere most piteous to be wild. I have dispatched in post to sacred Delphos, to Apollo's temple, Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know, stuffed sufficiency. Now, from the oracle, they will bring all whose spiritual counsel shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
Though I am satisfied and need no more than what I know, yet shall the oracle give rest to the minds of others, such as he whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. So have we thought it good from our free person she should be confined, lest the treachery of the 2 who fled hence be left her to perform. Come, follow us. We need to speak in public, for this business will raise us all. Till after, as I take it, if the good truth were known.
Act 2, Scene 2, Prison. Enter Paulina, a gentleman, and attendants.
The keeper of the prison, call to him. Let him have knowledge who I am. Good lady, no court in Europe is too good for thee. What dost thou then in prison? Now, good sir, you know me, do you not?
For a worthy lady, and one whom much I honor.
Pray you then, conduct me to the queen.
I may not, madam. To the contrary, I have expressed commandment.
Here's a Jew to lock up honesty and honor from the access of gentle visitors. It's lawful, pray you, to see her women? Any of them, Emilia?
So please you, madam, to put apart these your attendants, I shall bring Amelia forth.
Pray now, call her. Withdraw yourselves.
And, madam, I must be present at your conference.
Well, be it so, prithee. Here's much ado to make no stain a stain as passes colouring. Dear gentlewoman, how fares our gracious lady?
As well as one so great and so forlorn may hold together, on her frights and griefs, which never tender lady hath borne greater, she is something before her time delivered.
A boy?
A daughter, and a goodly babe, lusty and like to live. The queen receives much comfort in it, says my poor prisoner, I am innocent as you.
I dare be sworn these dangerous, unsafe loons of the king beshrew them. He must be told on it, and he shall. The office becomes a woman best. I'll take it upon me. If I prove honey mouth, let my tongue blister, and never to my red-looked anger be the trumpet any more. Pray you, Amelia, commend my best obedience to the queen. If she dares trust me with her little babe, I'll show it the king, and undertake to be her advocate to the louts. We do not know how he may soften at the sight of the child. The silence often of pure innocence persuades when speaking fails.
Most worthy madam, your honour and your goodness is so evident that your free thinking cannot miss a thriving issue. There is no lady living so meet with this great errand. Please your ladyship to visit the next room. I'll presently acquaint the queen of your most noble offer, who but today hammered of this design, but durst not tempt a minister of honour, lest she be denied.
Tell her, Amelia, I'll use that tongue I have. If wit flowed from it as boldness from my bosom, let not be doubted I shall do good.
Now be you blessed for it. I'll to the queen. Please you, come something nearer.
Madam, if please the queen to send the babe, I know not what shall I incur to pass it, having no warrant.
You need not fear it, sir. This child was prisoner to the womb, and is by law and process of great nature thence freed and enfranchised, not a party to the anger of the king, nor guilty of, if any be, the trespasses of the queen.
I do believe it.
Do you not fear? Upon my honor, I will stand betwixt you and danger.
Act 2, Scene 3. A room, Leonatus' palace. Enter Leonatus, Antigonus, lords and servants.
Nor night, nor day, nor rest. It is but weakness to bear the matter thus, mere weakness. If the cause were not in being part of the cause, she the adulteress, for the harlot king is quite beyond mine arm, out of the blank and level of my brain, plot proof. But she I can hook to me, say that she were gone, given to the fire, a motive of my rest might come to me again. Who's there?
My lord.
How does the boy?
He took good rest tonight. 'Tis hoped his sickness is discharged.
To see his nobleness, conceiving the dishonor of his mother, he straight declined, drooped, took it deeply, fastened, fixed the shame on it in himself, threw off his spirit, his appetite, his sleep, and downright languid. Leave me solely. Go, see how he fares. Fie, fie. No thought of him. Thought of my revenges that may recoil upon me, in himself too mighty, and in his parties his alliance. Let him be until time may serve. For present vengeance, take it on her. Camillo Polizini's laugh at me, make their pastime at my sorrow. They should not laugh if I could reach them, nor shall she within my power.
Enter Paulina with a child.
You must not enter.
Nay, rather good, my lords, be second to me. Fear you his tyrannous passions more, alas, than the queen's life? A gracious, innocent soul, more free than he is jealous.
That's enough.
Madam, he hath not slept tonight. Commanded none should come to him.
Not so hot, good sir. I come to bring him sleep. 'Tis such as you that creep like shadows by him and do sigh at each of his needless heavings. Such as you nourish the cause of his awaking. I do come with words as medicinal as true, honest as either, to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
What noise there? Ho!
No noise, my lord, but needful conference about some gossips for your highness.
How? Away with that audacious lady, Antigonus. I charge thee that she should not come about me. I knew she would. I told her so, my lord, on your displeasure's peril and on mine she should not visit you. What, canst not rule her?
From all dishonesty he can. In this, unless he take the course with you have done, commit me for committing honor, trust it, he shall not rule me.
You hear. When she will take the rein, I let her run, but she'll not stumble.
Good my liege, I come, and I beseech you hear me, who profess myself your loyal servant, your physician, your most obedient counselor, yet that dare less appears so in comforting your evils, that such a most seems yours, I say, come from your good queen.
Good queen.
Good queen, my lord, good queen. I say good queen, and I would by combat make her good, so were I man the worst about you.
Force her hence.
Let him that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me. On my own accord I'll off, but first I'll do my errand. The good queen, for she is good, hath brought forth your daughter. Here 'tis. Commence it with your blessing.
Out. A mankind wench, hence with her, out a door, a most intelligencing bawd.
Not so. I am as ignorant in that as you is so entitling me, and no less honest that you are mad, which is enough I want as this world goes to pass for honest.
Traitors! Will you not push her out? Give her the bastard, thou dotard. Thou art woman tired, unroosted by the name Dame Partlet here. Take up the bastard, take it up, I say. Give to that crone.
Forever unvenerable be thy hands, if thou takest up the princess by that forced baseness which he has put upon it.
He dreads his wife.
So I would you did, then 'twere past all doubt you call your children yours.
A nest of traitors. I am none by this good light.
Nor I, nor any but ones that hear, and that's himself, for he, the sacred honor of himself, his queens, his hopeful sons, his babes, betrays the slander whose sting is sharper than the swords, and will not, for as the case now stands, it is a curse. He cannot be compelled to it. Once remove the root of his opinion, which is rotten as ever oak or stone was sound.
A callet, boundless tongue, who late hath beat her husband, and now baits me. This brat is none of mine. It is the issue of Polizini's. Hence with it. And together with the dam, commit them to the fire.
It is yours. And might we lay the old proverb to your charge, so like you, 'tis the worst. Behold, my lords, although the print be little, the whole matter and copy of the father, eye, nose, lip, the tricks of his frowns, his forehead, nay, the valley and the pretty dimples of his chin and cheek, his smiles, and very mould and frame of his hand, nail, finger, and thou, good goddess nature, which hast made it so like to him that got it, if thou hast the ordering of the mind too, amongst all colours, no yelling in it, lest she suspect as he does her children, not her husband's.
A gross hag, and Lawson, thou art worthy to be hanged, that will not stay her tongue. Hang all the husbands that cannot do that feat. You'll leave yourself hardly one subject. Once more, take her hence.
A most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burnt.
I care not. It is the, it is the heretic that makes the fire, not she which burns in it. I'll not call you tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak hinged fancy, something savors of tyranny, and will ignoble make you, yea, scandalous to the world.
On your allegiance, out of the chamber with her. Were I a tyrant, where were her life? She does not call me so if she did know me one. Away with her.
I pray you do not push me. I'll be gone. Look to your babe, my lord. 'Tis yours. Jove send her. O better guiding spirit, what needs these hands? You that are thus so tender o'er his follies will never do him good, not one of you. So farewell, we are gone.
Thou traitor hast set on thy wife to this. My child, away with it. Even though thou hast a heart so tender o'er, take it hence and see it instantly consumed with fire. Even thou and none but thou, take it up straight. Within this hour bring me word 'tis done, and by good testimony, or I'll seize thy life. And with what thou else cost thine, if thou refuse and wilt encounter it with my wrath, say so. The bastard brains with these proper hands shall I dash out. Go, take it to the fire, for thou setst on thy wife. I did not, sir. These lords, my noble fellows, if they please, can clear me in it.
We can, my royal liege. He is not guilty of her coming hither.
You're liars all.
Beseech your highness, give us better credit. We have always truly served you, and beseech you so to our esteem of us, and on our knees we beg, as recompense of our dear services, past and to come, that you do change this purpose, which being so horrible, so bloody, must lead on some foul issue, we all on knee.
I am a feather for each wind that blows. Shall I live on to see this bastard kneel and call me father? Better burn it now than curse it then. But be it, let it live, it shall not neither. You, sir, come you hither. You that have been so tenderly officious with Lady Marjorie, your midwife there, to save this bastard's life, for 'tis a bastard. So sure as this beard's grey, what will you adventure to save this brat's life? Anything, my lord, that my ability may undergo and noblesse impose, at least thus much. I'll pawn the little blood which I have left to save the innocent. Anything possible. It shall be possible, swear by this sword, thou wilt perform my bidding. I will, my lord. Mark and perform it, seest thou, for the fail of any point in it shall not only be death to thyself, but to thy lewd-tongued wife, whom for this time we pardon. We enjoin thee, as thou art liege man to us, that thou carry this female bastard hence, and that thou bear it to some remote desert place, quite out of our dominions, and that there thou leave it, without more mercy, to its own protection in favor of the climate. As by strange fortune it came to us, I do in justice charge thee, on thy soul's peril and thy body's torture, that thou commend it strangely to some place where chance may nurse it or end it. Take it up. I swear to do this, though a present death had been more merciful. Come on, poor babe. Some powerful spirit instruct the kites and ravens to be thy nurses. Wolves and bears, they say, casting the savageness aside from, have done like offices of pity. Sir, be prosperous in more than this deed does require, and blessing against the cruelty fight on thy side, poor thing, condemned to loss. No, I'll not rear another's issue.
Please, your highness, posts from those you sent to the oracle are come an hour since. Cleomenes and Dion, being well arrived from Delphos, are both landed, hasting to the court.
So please you, sir, their speed hath been beyond account.
23 days they have been absent. 'Tis good speed. Foretells the great Apollo suddenly will have the truth of disappear. Prepare you, lords, summon a lesson, that we may arraign our most disloyal lady, for as she hath been publicly accused, so shall she have a just and open trial. While she lives, my heart will burthen to me, leave me, and think upon my bidding.
Act 3, Scene 1. A seaport in Sicilia. Enter Cleomenes and Dion.
The climate's delicate, the air most sweet, fertile the isle, the temple much surpassing the common praise it bears.
I shall report for most caught me the celestial habits, methinks I so should term them, and the reverence of the grave wearers. Oh, the sacrificial, how ceremonious, solemn, and unearthly it was in the offering.
Of all, the burst and the ear-deafening voice of the oracles, kin to Jove's thunder, so surprised my sense that I was nothing.
Oh, if the event of the journey proveth successful to the queen, albeit so, as it hath been to us, rare, pleasant, speedy, the time is worth the use on it.
Great Apollo, turn all the best. These proclamations so forcing faults upon Hermione, I little like.
The violent carriage of it will clear or end the business when the oracle, thus by Apollo's great divine sealed up, shall the contents discover as something rare. Even then will rush to knowledge. Go, fresh horses, and be gracious be the issue.
Act 3, Scene 2. A court of justice. Enter Leontes, lords, and officers.
This sessions, to our great grief we pronounce, even pushes against our heart. The party tried the daughter of a king, our wife, and one of us too much beloved. Let us be cleared of being tyrannous, since we so openly proceed in justice, which shall have due course, even to the guilt or the purgation. Produce the prisoner.
It is His Highness's pleasure that the Queen appear in person here in court. Silence!
Read the indictment.
Hermione, Queen to the word of Leontes, King of Sicilia, thou art here accused and arraigned of high treason, and committing adultery with Polyxenus, King of Bohemia, and conspirating with Camillio to take away the life of our sovereign lord and the king, thy royal husband. The pretence whereof being by circumstances partly laid open, thou, Hermione, contrary to the faith and allegiance of a true subject, did counsel and aid them for their better safety to fly away by night.
Since what I am to say must be but that which contradicts my accusation, and the testimony on my part no other but what comes from myself, it shall scarce boot me to say not guilty. Mine integrity being counted falsehood shall, as I express it, be so received. But thus, if powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then but innocence shall make false accusation blush, and tyranny tremble with patience. You, my lord, best know, who at least will seem to do so, my past life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true, as I am now unhappy, which is more than history can pattern, though devised and played to take spectators. For behold me a fellow of the royal bed. which owe a moiety to the throne of a great king's daughter, the mother to a hopeful prince, here standing to prate and talk for life and honor for who's pleased to come and hear. For life I prize it as I weigh grief, which I would spare. For honor, 'tis a deliverance from me to mine, and only that I stand for. I appeal to your conscience, sir, before Polixenes came to your court, how I was in your grace, how merited to be so, since he came with what encounters so occurrent I have strained to appear thus. If one jot beyond the bound of honor, or an act or will that way inclining, hardened be the hearts of all that hear me and my nearest kin. Cry fie upon my grave.
I never heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
That's true enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it?
More than mistress of which comes to me in name of fault, I must not at all acknowledge. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess that I loved him as an honor he required, with such a kind of love as might become a lady like me, with a love such even so, and no other as yourself commanded, which not have done, I think has been in me both disobedience and ingratitude to you and toward your friend, whose love had spoke ever since it could speak, from infant freely that it was yours. Now, for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, though it be dished for me to try how. All I know of it is that Camilla was an honest man, and why he left your court, the gods themselves, wotting no more than I, are ignorant.
You knew of his departure as you know what you have undertaken to do in its absence.
Sir, you speak a language I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you were past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth, which to deny concerns more than avails, for as thy brat hath been cast out, like it to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal than thee than it. So thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with I seek to meet. Can life be no commodity? The crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I do give lost, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy, the first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unlucky, is from my breast, the innocent milk in its most innocent mouth, haled out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet, with immodest hatred, the childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place, the open air, before I've got my strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive, that I shall fear to die. Therefore proceed, but yet hear this. Mistake me not, no life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor which I would free, if I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proofs sleeping else but what your jealousies awake. I tell you, 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo, be my judge.
This your request is altogether just. Therefore bring forth, and in Apollo's name, his oracle.
The Emperor of Russia was my father. Oh, that he were alive and here beholding his daughter's trial, that he did but see the flatness of my misery, yet with eyes of pity, not revenge.
Enter Cleomenes and Dion. You yet shall swear upon this sword of justice that you, Clemenes and Dion, have both been both at Delphos, and from thence have brought this sealed up oracle by hand delivered of great Apollo's priest, and that since then you have not dared to break this holy seal nor read the secrets therein.
All this we
All this
swear.
we swear.
Break up the seals and read.
Hermione is chaste, Polyxenus is blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant, his innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir, if that which is lost be not found.
Now blessed be the great Apollo. Praised.
Hast thou read truth?
Aye, my lord, even so, as it is here set down.
There is no truth at all. I, the oracle, the sessions shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord the king.
What is the business?
Oh, sir, I shall be hated to report it. The prince, your son, with mere conceit and fear of the queen's speed, is gone,
How? Gone?
is dead.
Apollo is angry. And the heavens themselves do strike at my injustice.
Hermione swoons.
How now there?
This news is mortal to the queen. Look down and see what death is doing.
Take her hence. Her heart is o'ercharged. She will recover. I have too believed mine own suspicion. Beseech you, tenderly apply to her some remedies for life. Apollo, pardon. My great profaneness against thine oracle, I reconcile me to Polyxenus. Do woo my queen, recall the good Camillo, whom I proclaim a man of truth, of mercy, being transported by my jealousies to bloody thoughts and to revenge. I chose Camillo for the minister to poison my friend Polyxenus, which had been done, but that the good mind of Camillo tardied my swift command, though I with death and with reward did threaten and encourage him. Not doing it and being done, he most humane and filled with honor to my kingly guest, unclasped my practice, quit his fortunes here, which you knew great, to hazard of all uncertainties himself commended, no richer than his honor. How he glisters through my rust, how his pity does my deeds the blacker.
Whoa, the wow. Oh, cut my lace, lest my heart cracking it break too.
What fit is this, good lady?
What studied torments, tyrant, hast for me? What wheels, racks, fires, what flame, boiling in leads or oils, what old or newer torture must I receive, whose every word deserves to taste of thy most worst, thy tyranny together, working with thy jealousies, fancies too weak for boys, too green and idle for girls of 9. Oh, think what they may have done, and then run mad indeed, stark mad, for all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it. That thou betrayed Polyxenus was twas nothing that did but show thee of a fool, inconstant, damnable, and grateful. Nor was it much thou wouldst have poisoned good Camillo's honor to have him kill a king. Poor trespasses, more monstrous standing by. Well, I reckon the casting forth to crows thy baby daughter to be, or none, or little, though a devil wouldst have shed water out of fire ere done it. Nor it's directly laid to thee the death of the young prince, whose honorable thoughts high for one so tender, cleft the heart that could conceive a gross and foolish sigh, blemished by his gracious dame. This is not, no, laid to thy answer, but the last. O lords, what have I said? Cry woe! The sweetest, dearest creature's dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet.
The high powers forbid.
I say she's dead. I'll swear it. If word nor oath prevail not, go and see. If you can bring tincture or luster in her lip, her eye,
heat outwardly or breath within, I'll serve you as I would do the gods. But, O thou tyrant, do not repent these things, for they are heavier than all thy woes can stir. Therefore betake thee to nothing but despair. 1,000 years, 10,000 years together, naked, fasting upon a barren mountain, and still winter and storm perpetual could not move the gods to look that way thou art. When
Go on, go on. Canst not speak too much. I have deserved all tongues to talk the bitterest.
Say no more. However the business goes, you have made fault in the boldness of your speech.
I'm sorry for it. All faults I make, when I shall come to know them, I do repent. Alas, I have showed too much the rashness of a woman. He is touched to the noble heart. What's gone and what's past help should be past grief. Do not receive affliction at my petition. I beseech you, rather, let me be punished that you have minded you, or what you should forget. Now, good my liege sir, royal sir, forgive a foolish woman. For the love I bore your queen, oh, fool again, I'll speak of her no more, nor of your children. I'll not remember you, my lord, who is lost too. Take your patience to you. I'll say nothing.
That it speaks but well, with most the truth which I perceived much better than to be pitied of thee. Prithee, bring me to the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be for both, upon them shall the causes of their death appear unto our shame perpetual. Once a day I'll visit the chapel where they lie, and tears shed there shall be my recreation. So long as nature will bear up with this exercise, so long I daily vow to use it. Come and lead me unto these sorrows.
Act 3, Scene 3, Bohemia, a desert country near the sea.
Thou art perfect, then. Our ship hath touched upon the deserts of Bohemia.
Aye, my lord, and fear we have landed in ill time. The skies look grimly and threaten present blusters. In my conscience, the heavens which that we have in hand are angry and frown upon us.
The sacred wills be done. Go get aboard, look to thy bark. I will not long before I call upon thee.
I have no idea where this accent is coming from or going, so bear with me. Make best your haste, and go not too far the land. 'Tis like to be loud weather. Besides, this place is famous for the creatures of prey they keep upon.
Go thou away, I'll follow instantly.
I'm glad at heart to be so rid of this business.
Come, poor babe. I have heard but not believed the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night. For there was dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow, so filled and so becoming. Pure white robes, like very sanctity, she did approach my cabin where I lay, thrice bowed before me, gasping to begin some speech. Her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent, none did this break from her. Good Antigonus, since fate against thy better disposition hath made thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine own places remote enough are in Bohemia, there weep, and leaving a cry. And for the babe I counted lost forever, perdita. I prithee thee call it. For this ungentle business put on thee by my lord, thou ne'er shalt see thy wife Paulina more. And so with shrieks she melted into the air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself and thought this was so, and no slumber. Dreams are toys. Yet for this once, yea, superstitiously, I will be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polyxenes, it should here be laid either for life or death upon the earth of its right father. Blossom, speed thee well. There lie, and there thy creature, there these, which may, if fortune please, both breed thee pretty, and still rest thine. Storm begins. Poor wretch, that for thy mother's fault art thus exposed to loss in what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds, and most accursed am I to be by my oath enjoined to this. Farewell! The day frowns more and more, thou'rt like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heavens so dim by day. Savage glamour! How may I get aboard? This is the chase, I am gone forever. Exit pursued by bear.
Sorry. Exit pursued by bear.
I would there were no age between 16 and 23, or that youth would sleep out the rest, for there is nothing in between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancient trees, stealing, fighting. Hark you now! Would any but these boiled brains of 19 and 22 hunt this weather? I have scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will sooner find than the master. If any were I have them, 'tis by the seaside, browsing of ivy. Good luck, and to that by thy will. What have we here? Mercy's horns! A barn, very pretty barn. A boy or a child, I wonder. A pretty one, a very pretty one. Sure some scape, though I not bookish, yet I can read waiting gentlewoman in this scape. This has been some stair work, some trunk work, some behind door work. They were warmer that got this than the poor thing is here. I'll take it up for pity. Yet I'll tarry till my son come. He hallooed, but even now, whoa ho ho!
Hilla, lawyer.
What art so near, if thou see a thing to walk on when thou art dead and rotten? Come hither. Whose ailest thou, man?
I have seen such sights by sea and by land, but I am not to say it is at sea, but for it is now the sky. Betwixt the firmament and it you cannot thrust a bodkin's point.
Why, boy, how is it?
I would you did but see how it chafes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore, but that's not the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls, sometimes to see them and not see them. Now the ship, being the moon, with her o'er the mast, and anon swallowed with yest and froth, and you'd thrust a cork in the hogshead. And then for the land service to see how the bear tore out his shoulder bone, how he cried to me for help and said his name was Antigonus, a nobleman. But to make an end of the ship, to see how the sea flap-dragoned it. But first, how the poor souls roared, and the sea mocked them. How the poor gentleman roared, and the bear mocked him, both roaring louder than the sea or the weather.
Name of mercy, when was this boy?
I would you had been to the shipside to have helped her. There your charity would have lacked footing.
Heavy matters, heavy matters. But look thee here, boy. Now bless thyself, thou mettest with things dying, I with things newborn. Here's a sight for thee, look thee. A bearing cloth for a squire's giant, look thee here. Take up, boy. Open it. So let's see. It was told me I should be rich by the fairies. This is some changeling. Open it. What's within, boy?
You're a made old man. If the sins of your youth are forgiven you, you're well to live. Gold. All gold.
This is fairy gold, boy. And 'twill prove so. Up with it. Keep it the course. Home. The next way we are lucky, boy. And to be so still requires nothing but secrecy. Let my sheep go. Come, good boy. The next way home.
Go you the next way to with your findings. I'll go see if the bears be gone from the gentleman and how much he hath eaten. They are never cursed but when they are hungry. If there be any of him left, I'll bury it.
That's a good deed. If thou mayest discern by that which is left of him what he is, fetch me to the sight of him.
Marry I will, and you shall help to put him in the ground.
'Tis a lucky day, boy. We'll do good deeds on it.
And with that, the curtain falls for our intermission on with the end of Act 3 of The Winter's Tale. Exeunt all, pursued by bear. Thank you, Bill. Well, now it is time. We're going to take a brief intermission, about 15 minutes. The joy of doing these virtually means that there's never a queue for the bathrooms, and the concession stand is more than likely to have your own choice of refreshment. So refresh yourselves, get yourselves water, bio, meds if you haven't taken them yet today, and we will see you yet again in about 15 minutes. Haven't seen you soon. Hello and welcome back all to the second half of The Winter's Tale. We hope you're all refreshed. We hope that your concession stand had your refreshments of choice. And we are all ready to go back into Act 4, Scene 1. Chorus as time speaks.
I, that please some, try all, both joy and terror, of good and bad that makes and unfolds error. Now take upon me in the name of time, to use my wings, impute it not a crime, to me or my swift passage that I slide. O'er 16 years and leave the growth untried, of that wide gap, since it is in my power to overthrow law, and in one self-born hour to plant an o'erwhelmed custom let me pass. The same I am, ere ancient's order was, or what is now received. I witness to the times that brought them in, so shall I do. To the freshest things now reigning, and make stale the glistening of this present as my tale. Now seems to it, your patience this allowing, I turn my glass and give my scene such growing, as you had slept between. Leontes leaving, the effects of his fond jealousies so grieving, that he shuts up himself. Imagine me, gentle spectators, that I now may be in fair Bohemia, and remember well, mentioned a son of the king's, which Florizel I now name to you, and with speed so pace, to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace, equal with wondering what of her ensues. I list not prophecy, but let time's news be known when this 'tis brought forth, a shepherd's daughter. And what to her adheres, which follows after, is the argument of time. Of this allow, if ever you have spent time worse ere now, if never, yet that time himself doth say, he wishes earnestly you never may.
Act 4, Scene 2, Bohemia, the Palace of Polyxenus. Enter Polyxenus and Camillo. I pray thee, good Camillo, be no more importunate. 'Tis a sickness denying thee anything, a death to grant this. It is 15 years since I saw my country. Though I have for the most part been erred abroad, I desire to lay my bones there. Besides, the penitent king, my master, hath sent for me, to whose feeling sorrows I might be some allay or overween to think so, which is another spur to my departure. As thou lovest me, Camillo, wipe not out the rest of thy services by leaving me now. The need I have of thee thine own goodness hath made. Better not to have had thee than thus to want thee. Thou, having made me businesses which none without thee can sufficiently manage, must either stay to execute them thyself, or take away with thee the very services thou hast done, which I cannot, which I have not enough considered, as too much I cannot. To be more thankful to thee shall be my study, and my profit therein the shaping and heaping of friendships. Of that fatal country, Sicilia, pray thee speak no more, whose very name punishes me with the remembrance of that penitent, as thou callest him, and reconciled king, my brother, whose loss of his most precious queen and children are even now to be afresh lamented. Say to me when sawest thou the Prince Florizel, my son? Kings are no less unhappy, their issue not being gracious than they are in losing them when they have proved their virtues. So it is 3 days since I saw the prince. What his happier affairs may be are to me unknown, but I have missingly noted he is of late much retired from court, and is less frequent to his princely exercises than formerly he hath appeared. I have considered so much, Camillo, with some care so far that I have eyes under my servant which look upon his removedness, from whom I have this intelligence, that he is seldom from the house of a most homely shepherd. A man, they say, that from very nothing and beyond the imagination of his neighbours is grown into an unspeakable estate. I have heard, sir, of such a man, who hath a daughter of most rare note. The report of her is extended more than can be thought to begin from such a cottage. That's likewise part of my intelligence, but I fear the angle that plucks our son thither. Thou shalt accompany us to the place, where we will, not appearing what we are, have some questions with this shepherd, from whose simplicity I think it not uneasy to get the cause of my son's resort thither. Pray thee, be my present partner in this business, and lay aside the thoughts of Sicilia. I willingly obey your command. My best Camillo! We must disguise ourselves. Act 4, Scene 3. The road near the shepherd's cottage. Enter Autolycus, singing. I muted myself. It was great. Enter Autolycus, singing. When daffodils begin to peer with high the doxy over the dale, why then comes in the sweet of the year, for the red blood reigns in the winter's pale. The white sheet bleaching over the hedge, what high the sweet birds, oh how they sing, doth set my pudging tooth on edge. For quart of ale is a dish for a king, the lark that chilla chants, with high, the lush, and the jay are summer songs for me and my aunts. Doesn't really scan well. While we are tumbling in the hay, I have served Prince Florziel, and in my time wore 3 pile. But now I am out of service. But shall I go mourn for that, my dear? The pale moon shines by night, and when I wander here and there, I then do most go right. If tinkers may leave to live and bear the sow-skin budget, then my account I well may give, and in the stocks vouch it. My traffic is sheets, when the kite builds, look to the lesser linen. My father named me Autolycus, who, being as I am, littered under Mercury, was likewise a snapper up of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab I purchased this caparison, and my revenue is the silly cheat. Gallows and knock are too powerful on the highway. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For life to come I sleep out the thought of it. A prize, a prize. Enter Clown.
Let me see. Every levin weather trods, every tod yields pound and odd shilling, 1,500 shorn. What comes the wool to?
Is the spring hold? The clock's mine.
I cannot do it without counters. Let me see. What am I to buy for our sheep-shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants, rice. What will this sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. She hath made me 24 nose greys for her shearers, 3 men song men all, and the very good ones. But they are most of them means and bases, but one Puritan amongst them, and he sings psalms to hornpipes. I must have saffron to colour the warden pies, mace, dates, none. That's out of my note. Nutmeg 7, a race or 2 of ginger, but that I may beg, 4 pound of prunes and as of many raisins of the sun.
Oh, that ever I was born!
Aye, the name of me.
Oh, help me! Help me! Pluck off these rags and then death! Death!
Alack, poor soul, thou hast need of more rags to lay on thee, rather than have thee off.
Oh, sir, the loathsomeness of them offends me more than the stripes I have received, which are mighty ones in millions.
Alas, poor man, a million beating may come to a great matter.
I am robbed, sir, and beaten, my money and apparel taken from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
What? By a horseman or a footman?
A footman, sweet sir, a footman.
Indeed. He should be a footman by the garments he has left thee. If this be a horseman's coat, it hath seen a very hot service. Lend me thy hand, I'll help thee. Come, lend me thy hand.
Oh, good sir, tenderly, oh.
Alas, poor soul.
Good sir, softly, good sir. I fear, sir, my shoulder blade is out.
How now? Canst stand?
Picking his pocket. Softly, sir, good sir, softly. You have done me a charitable office.
Dost lack any money? I have little money for thee.
No, good sweet sir, no, I beseech you, sir. I have a kinsman not past 3/4 of a mile hence, unto whom I was going. I shall have their money or anything I want. Offer me no money, I pray you, it kills my heart.
What manner of fellow was he that robbed you?
A fellow, sir, that I have known to go about with troll madams. I knew him once a servant of the prince. I cannot tell, good sir, for which of his virtues it was, but he was certainly whipped out of the court.
His vices, you would say. There's no virtue whipped out of the court. They cherish it to make it stay there. Yet will no more but abide.
Vices, I would say, sir. I know this man well. He hath been since an ape-bearer, then a process server, a bailiff, then he compassed a motion of the prodigal son and married a tinker's wife within a mile where my land and living lies, and having flown over many knavish professions, he settled only in rogue. Some call him Autolycus.
Out upon him, prig! For my life, prig! He hunts, wakes, fairs, and bear baitings.
Very true, sir. He, sir, he, that rogue that put me in this apparel.
Now a more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you had looked big and spit at him, he'll have run.
I must confess, sir, I am no fighter. I am false of heart that way, and that he knew, I warned him.
How do you now?
Sweet, sir, much better than I was. I can stand and walk, and I will even take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman's.
Shall I bring thee on thy way?
Oh, no, good face, sir. No, sweet sir.
Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for our sheep shearing.
Prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. I'll be with you at your sheep shearing, too. If I make not this cheat, bring out another, and the shearers prove sheep, let me be enrolled and my name put in the book of virtue. Jog on the footpathway, and merrily hent the stile. A merry heart goes all the day, your sad tires in a mile. Act 4, Scene 4, the shepherd's cottage. Enter Florziel and Perdita.
These your unusual weeds, to each part of you do give a life, no shepherdess, but Flora peering in April's front. This your sheep shearing is a meeting of the petty gods, and you the queen on it.
There we go. It's going to happen at some point. Sir, my gracious lord, to chide at your extremes is not becomes me. Oh, pardon that I name them your high self, the gracious mark of the land, if obscured with a swain swearing, and me, a poor lowly maid, most goddess-like pranked up. But that our feasts and every mess have folly, and the feeders digest it with a custom, I should blush to see you so attired, sworn, I think, to show myself a glass.
I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's ground.
Jove, afford you cause. To me the difference forges dread. Your greatness hath not been used to fear. Even now I tremble to think your father by some accident should pass this way as you did. Oh, the fates! How would he look to see his works so noble vilely bound up? What would he say? Or how should I, in these my borrowed flaunts, behold the sternness of his presence?
Apprehend. Nothing but jollity, the gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Jupiter became a bull and bellowed, the green Neptune a ram and bleated. The fire-robed god, golden Apollo, a poor humble swain, as I see now. The transformations were never for a piece of beauty rarer, nor in a way so chaste as my desires run not before my honor, nor my lusts burn hotter than my faith.
Oh, but sir, your resolution cannot hold when it's opposed, as it must be by the power of the king. One of these two must be necessities. Which then will speak? That you must change this purpose, or I my life.
Thou dearest Perdita, with these forced thoughts I prithee darken not the mirth of the feast, or I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's, for I cannot be my own nor anything to any if I be not thine. To this I am most constant. Though destiny say no, be merry, gentle. Strange such thoughts as these with anything that you behold the while your guests are coming. Lift up your countenance as it were the day of celebration of that nuptial which we two have sworn shall come.
Oh, Lady Fortune, stand you auspicious.
See your guests approach. Address yourself to entertain them sprightly, and let's be red with mirth.
Enter Shepherd, Clown, Mopsa, Dorcas, and others, with Polyxenes and Camillo disguised.
Fie, daughter. When my old wife lived upon this day, she was both pantler, butler, cook, both dame and servant. Welcomed all, served all, would sing her song and dance her turn. Now here at upper end of the table, now I the middle on his shoulder, and his her face afire, with labor and the things she took to quench it. She would to each one sip. You are attired as if you were a feasted one, not the hostess of the meeting. Pray you, bid these unknown friends choose welcome, for it is a way to make us better friends. More known, come, quench your blushes, present yourself, that which you are, mistress of the feast. Come on, and bid us welcome to your sheep shearing, as your good flock shall prosper.
Sir, welcome. It is my father's will I should take on me the hostessship of the day. You're welcome, sir. Uh, Give me those flowers there, Dorcas. Reverend sirs, for you there's rosemary and rue. These keep seeming in savor all the winter long. Grace and remembrance be to you both, and welcome to our shearing.
Shepherdess, a fair one are you, well fit our ages with flowers of winter.
Sir, the year growing ancient, not yet on summer's death, nor on the birth of trembling winter, the fairest flowers of the season are our carnations and street gillivores, which some call nature's bastards, of the kind our rustic gardens barren, and I care not to get slips of them.
Wherefore, gentle maiden, do you neglect them?
For I have heard it said there is an art to which their piedness shares with great creating nature.
Say there be, yet nature is made better by no mean, but nature makes that mean. So over thou art, which you say art to the nature, is an art that nature to makes. You see, sweet maid, we marry a gentler scion to the wildest stock, and make conceive a bark of baser kind, by bird of nobler race. This is an art which does mend nature. Change it rather, but the art itself is nature.
So it is.
Then make your garden rich in gillivores, and do not call them bastards.
I'll not put the dibble in earth to set one slip of them. No more than were I painted, I would wish this youth would say 'twere well, and only therefore desire to breed by me. Here's flowers for you. Hot lavender, mints, savory, marjoram, the marigold that goes to bed with the sun, and with him rises weeping. These are the flowers of middle summer, and I think they are given to men of middle age. You are very welcome.
I should leave grazing, were I your flock, and only live by gazing.
Out, alas, you should be so lean that blasts of January would blow you through and through. Now, my fairest friend, I would have some flowers of the spring that might become your time of day, and yours, that whereupon your virgin branches yet your maidenhead's growing. O Proserpina, for the flowers now that frighten thou lest fall from diswagons, daffodils that come from the swallow dares and take the winds of March with beauty, violets dim but sweeter than the lids of Juno's eyes, or Cytherea's breath, pale primroses that die unmarried, ere they can behold bright Phoebus in his strength, a malady most incident to maids, bold oxlips and the crown imperial, lilies of all kinds, the flower de luce being one. Oh, these I lack to make your garlands of, and my sweet friend, to strew him o'er and o'er.
What, like a course?
No, like a bank for love to lie and play on. Not like a corse, or not to be buried, but quick and in my arms. Come, take your flowers. Methinks I play as I have seen them do in Whitsun pastorals. See, sure this robes of mine does change my disposition.
What you do still betters what is done. When you speak sweet, I'd have you do it ever. When you sing, I'd have you buy and sell so. So give alms, pray so. And for the ordering your affairs, to sing them too. When you dance, I wish you a wave of the sea, that you might ever do nothing but that. Move still so, and own no further function each you're doing, so singular in each particular, crowns what you are doing in the present deed, that all your acts are queens.
Oh, Dorcas, your praises are too large, but that your youth and the true blood which peepeth fairly through it do plainly give you out an unstained shepherd. With wisdom I might fear, my Dorcles, you'd wound me the false way.
I think you have as little skill to fear as I have purpose, to put you to it. But come, our dance, I pray, your hand, my Perdita, so turtles pair that never mean to part.
I'll swear for him.
This is some prettiest low-born lass I have ever ran with the green sword. Nothing she does or seems but smack something greater than herself. Too noble for this place. He tells her something that makes her blood look out. Good sooth, she is the queen of curds and cream.
Come on, strike up!
Mopsa must be your mistress, Mary Garlic, to mend her kissing with.
Now in good time.
Not a word, a word! We stand upon our manners. Come, strike up!
Music. Here dance a shepherd. Here a dance of shepherds and shepherdesses. Pray, good shepherd, what fair swain is this which dances with your daughter?
They call him Dorcles, and boasts himself to have a worthy feeding, but I have it upon his own report, and I believe it. He looks like sooth. He says he loves my daughter. I think so too. For never gaze the moon upon the water, as he'll stand and read as 'twere my daughter's eyes. And to be plain, I think there is not half a kiss to choose who loves another best.
She dances featly.
So she does at anything, though I report it that should be silent. If young Dorcles do light upon her, she shall bring him that which he not dreams of.
Oh, master, if you
did but hear the peddler at the door, you would never dance again after a tabor and pipe. No, the bagpipe could not move you. He sings several tunes faster than you'll tell money. He utters them as he would eat in ballads, and all men's ears grew to his tunes.
He could never come better. He shall come in. I love a ballad, but even too well. If it be doleful matters, barely sit down, or a very pleasant thing indeed, and sung lamentably.
He has songs for man or woman in all sizes. No milliner can so fit his customers with gloves. He has the prettiest love songs for maids, so without bawdry, which is strange, with such delicate burdens of dildos and fadings, jump her and thump her. Well, and where some stretch-mouthed rascal would, as it were, mean mischief and break a foul gap into the matter, he makes the mad maid to answer, "Whoop, do me no harm, good man," but puts him off, slights him with, "Whoop, do me no harm, good man."
I lost the thing. This is a brave fellow.
Believe me, thou talkest of an admirable conceited fellow. Has he any unbraided wares?
He hath ribbons of and the colors of the rainbow, points more than all the lawyers of Bohemia can learnedly handle, though they come to him by the gross, inkles, caddises, cambrics, lawns. Why, he sings them over as they were gods or goddesses. You would think a smock were she an angel, he so chanced to the sleeve hand, and the work about the square on it.
Prithee, bring him in, and let him approach singing.
Forewarn him that he uses no scurrilous words in his tunes.
You have of these peddlers that have more in them than you'd think, sister.
I could, brother, or go about to think.
Enter Autolycus, singing. Lawn as white as driven snow, cypress black as air was crow, gloves as sweet as damask roses, masks for faces and for noses, bugle bracelet necklace amber, perfume for a lady's chamber, golden coifs and stomachers for my lads to give their dears, pins and poking sticks of steel that maids lack from head to heel. Come buy of me, come buy, buy lads, or else your lasses cry. Come buy.
If I were not in love with Mopsa, thou shalt take no money of me. But being enthralled as I am, it will also be the bondage of certain ribbons and gloves.
I was promised them for against the feast, but they come not too late now.
He'th promised you more than that, or there be liars.
He hath paid you all he promised you. Maybe he has paid you more, which shame you to give him again.
Is there no manners left among maids? Will they wear their plackets where they should bear their faces? Is there not milking time when you are going to bed, or kiln hole to whistle off these secrets? But you must be tittle-tattling before all our guests. 'Tis well they are whispering. Clamor your tongues, and not a word more.
I have done. Come, you promised me a tawdry lace and a pair of sweet gloves.
Have I not told thee how I was cozened by the way and lost all my money?
And indeed, sir, there are cozeners abroad, therefore it behooves men to be wary.
Fear not thou, man, thou shalt lose nothing here.
I hope so, sir, for I have about me many parcels of charge.
What hast here, ballads?
Pray now, buy some. I love a ballad in print of life, for then we are surely they are in true. Here's one to a very doleful tune, how a usurer's wife was brought to bed of a 20 money bags at a birth, and how she longed to eat adders' heads and toads carabindered. Is it true, you think you? Very true, and but a month old.
Bless me for marrying a usurer.
Here's the midwife's name to it, one Mistress Tailporter, and 5 or 6 honest wives that were present. Why should I carry lies abroad? pray you now, buy it.
Come on, lay it by, and let's first see more ballads. We'll buy the other things anon.
Here's another ballad of a fish that appeared upon the coast on Wednesday, the fourscore of April, 40,000 fathom above water, and sung this ballad against the hard hearts of maids. It was thought she was a woman, and was turned into a cold fish, for she would not exchange flesh with one that loved her. The ballad is very pitiful, and as true.
Is it true too? You think you?
5 justices' hands at it, and witnesses more than my pack will hold.
Lay it by to another.
This is a merry ballad, but a very pretty one. Let's have some merry ones. Why, this is the passing merry one, and goes to the tune of 2 maids wooing a man. There's scarce a maid westward, but she sings it. 'Tis in request, I can tell you. We can both sing it. If thou bear a part, thou shalt hear it. 'Tis in 3 parts.
We had that tune out on a month ago.
I can bear my part. You must know 'tis my occupation. Have at it with you. Get you hence, for I must go where it fits not you to know.
Whither?
Oh, whither?
Whither?
It comes thy oath full well, thou to me thy secrets tell.
Me too. Let me go thither.
Or thou goest to the range or the mill?
If to either thou dost ill.
Neither.
What neither?
Neither.
Thou hast sworn my love to be.
Thou hast sworn it more to me. Then whither goest? Say whither.
We'll have this song out anon by ourselves. My father and the gentlemen are in sad talk. We'll not trouble them. Come, bring away thy pack after me. Wenches, I'll buy for you both. Peddler, let's have the first choice. Follow me, girls.
Exit Dorcas and Mopsa. And you shall pay well for them. Following Autolycus singing. Will you buy any tape or lace for your cape, my dainty duck, my deara? Any silk or any thread, any toys for your head? Of the newest and finest wearer, come to the peddler, money's a meddler, thou dost utter all men's a wearer. Re-enter the servant.
Master, there is 3 carters, 3 shepherds, 3 neatherds, 3 swineherds that have made themselves all men of hair. They call themselves salters, and they have a dance with the wenches, say is a gallimaufry of gambles, because they're not in it. But they themselves are the mind, if it be not too rough for some that know little but bowling, it will please plentifully.
Away, little Lawrence. Here has been too much homely foolery already. I know, sir, we weary you.
You weary those that refresh us. Pray, let's see these 4 threes of herdsmen.
1-3 of them, by their own report, sir, hath danced before the king, and not the worst of the 3, but jumps 12.5 foot by the square.
Leave your prating. Since these good men are pleased, let them come in, but quickly now.
Why, they stay at doors, sir.
Here, a dance of 12 satyrs. Oh, father, you'll know more of that hereafter. Is it not too far gone? 'Tis time to part them. He's simple and tells much. How now, fair shepherd? Your heart is full of something that does take your mind from feasting. Sooth, when I was young and handed love as you do, I was wont to load my she with knacks. I would have ransacked the peddler's silken treasury and have poured it to her acceptance. You have let him go, and nothing martyred with him. If your last interpretation should abuse and call this your lack of love or bounty, you are strated for a reply, at least if you make a care of happy holding her.
Old sir, I know, she prizes not such trifles as these are. The gifts she looks from me are packed and locked up in my heart, which I have given already, but not over-delivered. Oh, Hear me breathe my life before this ancient sir, who, it should seem, hath sometime loved. I take thy hand, this hand as soft as dove's down, and as white as it, or Ethiopian's tooth, or the fanned snow that's bolted by the northern blasts twice over.
What fellow's this? How prettily the young swain seems to wash out. The hand was fair before. I have put you out, but your protestation, let me hear what you profess.
Do, be witness to it.
And is my neighbour too?
And he, and more than he, and men, the earth, the heavens, and all, that were I crowned the most imperial monarch thereof most worthy, were I the fairest youth that ever made eyes swerve, had force and knowledge more than was ever man's, I would not prize them without her love. For her employ them all, commend them, and condemn them to their service, or to their own perdition.
Fairly offered. This shows a sound affection.
But, my daughter, say you the like to him?
I cannot speak so well, nothing so well. No, nor me better, by the pattern of my own thoughts. I cut out the purity of his.
Take hands, hearken, and friends unknown, you shall bear witness to it. I give my daughter to him, and will make her portion equal to his. Oh, that must be aye the virtue of your daughter. One being dead, I shall have more than you can dream of yet. Enough then you for your wonder, but come on, contract us for these witnesses. Come, your hand, and daughter yours.
Soft, swain, a while, beseech you. Have you a father?
I have, but what of him?
Knows he of this?
He neither does nor shall.
Methinks a father is at a nuptial of his son a guest, that best becomes the table. Pray you, once more, is not your father grown incapable of reasonable affairs? Is he not stupid with age and altering rooms? Can he speak, hear, know man from man, dispute his own estate? Lies he not bedrid, and again does nothing but what he did of being childish?
No, good sir, he has health and ampler strength indeed than most of his age.
By my white beard, you offer him, if this be so, a wrong, something unfilial. Reason my son should choose himself a wife, but as good reason of the father, or whose joys is nothing else but fair posterity, should hold some counsel in such a business.
I yield all this, but for some other reasons, my grave sir, which 'tis not fit you know, I now acquaint my father of this business.
Let him know it.
He shall not.
Pray thee, let him.
No, he must not. Let him, my son. He shall not need to grieve at knowing of thy choice. Come, he must not. Mark our contract.
Mark your divorce, young sir. Discovering himself. Questions? I'm assuming revealings. Whom, son, I dare not call. Thou art too base to be acknowledged. Thou's a scepter's heir, that thus affected a sheep-hook. Thou old traitor, I'm sorry that by hanging thee I can but shorten my life 1 week. And thou, fresh piece of excellent witchcraft, who by force must know the royal fool thou compassed with.
Oh, my heart!
I'll have thy beauty scratched with briars and made more homely than thy estate. For thee, fond boy, if I may ever thou dost but sigh, that thou no more shalt see this knock, as never thou shalt, will bar thee from succession, not hold thee of our blood, no, not our kin, for then Deculian can mark thou my words, follow us to the court, thou churl, for this time, thou full of our displeasure, yet we free thee from the dead blow of it, and you, enchantment, worthy enough of a herdsman, yea, him too that makes himself but for our honour therein unworthy of thee. If thou henceforth these rural latches to his entrance open, or hoop his body more than thy embraces, I will devise a death as cruel for thee as thou art tender to it. Exit.
Even here undone, I was not much afeared, for once or twice I was about to speak and tell him plainly the selfsame sun that shines upon his court hides not his visage from our cottage, but looks on alike. Will it please you, sir, be gone? I told you what would come to this. Beseech you of your own state take care. This dream of mine being now awake, I'll queen it no inch farther, but milk my hues and weep.
Why, how now, father? Speak ere thou diest.
Cannot speak nor think, nor dare to know that which I know, sir. You have undone a man of fourscore three that thought to fill his grave in quiet, yea, as I upon the bed my father died, till I close by his honest bones. But now some hangman must put on my shroud and lave me, but no priest shovels in dust so cursed wretch. The news that this was the prince, who wouldst venture to mingle faith with him, undone, undone. If I might die within this hour, I have lived to die when I desire. Why look you so upon me? I am but sorry, not afeard, delayed, but nothing altered. What I was, I am. Or straining on the plucking back, not following my leash unwillingly.
Gracious my lord, you know your father's temper. At this time he will allow no speech, which I do guess you do not purpose to him, and as hardly will he endure your sight as yet, I fear. Then till the fury of his highness settle, come not before him.
I not purpose it. I think, Camillo.
Even he, my lord. Perdita, we can't hear you.
Didn't click the right button.
How often have I told you 'twould be thus? How often said my dignity would last but till were known?
It cannot fail but by the violation of my faith. And then let nature crush the sides of the earth together, and mar the seeds within. Lift up thy looks, and from succession wipe me. Father, I am heir to my affection.
Be advised.
I am. And by my fancy, if my reason will thereto be obedient, I have reason. If not, my senses, better pleased with madness, do bid it welcome.
This is desperate, sir.
So call it, but it does fulfill my vow. I needs must think it honestly, Camillo. Not for Bohemia, nor the pomp that may be there each gleamed, for all the sun sees, or the close earth wombs, or the profound sea hides in unknown fathoms, will I break my oath to this fair beloved. Therefore I pray you, as you have been my father's honored friend, when he shall miss me, as in faith I mean not to see him any more, cast your good counsels upon his passion. Let myself and fortune tug for the time to come. This you may know and so deliver. I am put to sea, and with her, whom here I cannot hold on shore. And most opportune to our need, I have a vessel rides fast by, but not prepared by for this design. What course I mean to hold shall nothing benefit your knowledge, nor concern me the reporting.
Oh, my lord, I would your spirit were easier for advice or stronger for your need.
Hark, Perdita. I'll hear you by and by.
He's irremovable, resolved for flight. Now were I happy if his going I could frame to serve my turn, save him from danger, do him love and honor. Purchase the sight again of dear Sicilia, and that unhappy king my master, whom I so much thirst to see.
Now, good Camillo, I'm so fraught with this curious business that I'll leave out ceremony.
Sir, I think you have heard of my poor services in the love that I have borne your father.
Very nobly, have you deserved it. It is my father's music to speak your deeds, not little of his care to have them recompensed as thought on.
Well, my lord, if you may be pleased to think I love the king, and through him what is nearest to him, which is your gracious self, embrace but my direction. If your more ponderous and settled project may suffer alteration, on mine honor, I'll appoint you where you shall have receiving as shall become your highness, where you may enjoy your mistress, from the whom I see there is no disjunction to be made, but by, as heavens forfend, your ruin. Marry her, and with my best endeavors in your absence, your discontenting father strive to qualify and bring him up to your liking.
How, Camillo, may this almost a miracle be done? That I may call thee something more than man, and after that trust to thee.
Have you thought on a place whereto you'll go?
Not any yet. But as the unthought on accident is guilty to what we wildly do, so we profess ourselves to be the slaves of chance and flies of every wind that blows.
Then listen to me. This fellow, if you will not change your purpose, but undergo this flight, make for Sicilia, and there present yourself and your fair princess, for so I see she must be, afore Leonates. She shall be habited as becomes the partner of your bed. Methinks I see Leonatus opening his free arms and weeping his welcomes forth, asks thee, the son, forgiveness as twere the father in the father's person, kisses the hands of your fresh princess, and o'er and o'er divides him twixt his unkindness and his kindness, the one he chides to hell and bids the other grow, faster than the thought of time.
Worthy Camillo, what colour for my visitation shall I hold up before him?
Sent by the king your father, to greet him and give him comforts, sir. The manner of your bearing towards him, with what you know, with what you as from your father shall deliver, things known best betwixt us three. I'll write you down, the which shall point you forth at every sitting, what you must say, that he shall not perceive, but that you have your father's bosom there, and speak his very heart.
I am bound to you. There is some sap in this.
A cause more promising than a wild dedication of yourselves to unpathed waters, undreamed shores, most certain to miseries enough, no hope to help you. But as you shake off one to take another, nothing so certain as your anchors, who do their best service, if they can but stay you, where you'll be loath to be. Besides, you know prosperity's the very bond of love, and whose fresh complexion, whose heart together affliction alters.
One of these is true. I think affliction may subdue the cheek, but not take in the mind.
Yea, say you so? There shall not at your father's house these 7 years be born another such.
My good Camillo, she is as forward of her breeding as she is I the rear our birth.
I cannot say 'tis a pity she lacks instructions, for she seems a mistress to most that teach.
Your pardon, sir. For this I'll blush you thanks.
My prettiest Perdita, oh, the thorns we stand upon. Camillo, preserver of my father, and now of me, the medicine of our house, how shall we do? We are not first like Bohemia's son, nor shall I appear in Sicilia.
My lord, fear none of this. I think you know my fortunes, do all lie there. It shall be so my care to have you royally appointed, as if the scene you play were mine. For instance, sir, that you may know you shall not want one word. Re-enter Autolycus. Ha! What a fool honesty is, and trust his sworn brother. A very simple gentleman. I've sold all my trumpery, not a counterfeit stone, not a ribbon, glass, pomander, brooch, table hook, ballad, knife, tape, glove, shoe tie, bracelet, horn ring, to keep my pack from fasting. They throng who should buy first, and as if my trinkets had been hallowed and brought a benediction to the buyer. By which means I saw those purse whose best in pictured, and what I saw, to my good use, I remembered. My clown, who wants but something to be a reasonable man, grew so in love with the wench's song that he would not stir his petty toes till he had both tune and words, which so drew the rest of the herd to me that all their senses stuck in their ears. You might have pinched a placket, it was senseless. 'Twas nothing to geld a codpiece of a purse. I could have filled keys off that hung in chains. No hearing, no fearing. but my sir's song in admiring the nothing of it. So that in this, the time of lethargy, I picked and cut most of their festival purposes. And had not the old man come in with a woo-bub against his daughter and the king's son and scared my coughs from the chaff, I had not left a purse alive in the whole army. Nay, but my letters by this means, being there so soon as you arrive, shall clear that doubt.
Those that you'll procure from Queen Leontes?
Shall satisfy your father.
Happy be you. All that you speak shows fair.
Who have we here? We'll make an instrument of this. Omit nothing may give us aid. If they have overheard me now, why hanging? How now, good fellow? Why shakest thou so? Fear not, man, there's no harm intended to thee. I am a poor fellow, sir. Why? Be so still. There's nothing will steal that from thee. Yet from the outside of thy poverty we must make an exchange. Therefore, decase thee instantly. Thou must think there's a necessity in it, and change thy garments with these gentlemen, though the pennyworth on his side be the worst. Yet hold thee, there's some boot. I am a poor fellow, sir. I know you well enough. Nay, pray thee, dispatch. The gentleman is half flayed already. Are you in earnest, sir? I smell a trick on it.
Dispatch, I prithee.
Indeed, I have had earnest, but I cannot with conscience take it. Unbuckle, unbuckle. Florziel and Autolycus exchange garments. I guess on stage. Fortunate mistress, let my prophecy come home to ye. You must retire yourself into some covert, take your sweetheart's hat and pluck it over your brow, muffle your face, dismantle you, and as you can, disliken the truth of your own seeming, that you may, for I do fear eyes over to shipboard, get undescribed.
I see the play so lies that I must bear a part.
No remedy. Have you done there?
Should I now meet my father, he would not call me son.
Nay, you shall have no hat. Come, lady, farewell, my friend. Adieu, sir.
O Perdita, what have we twain forgot? Pray you a word.
What do I do next shall be to tell the king of this escape and whither they are bound, wherein my hope is I shall so prevail to force him after, in whose company I shall review Sicilia, for whose sight I have a woman's longing.
Fortune speed us. Thus we sail on, Camellia, to the seaside.
The swifter the better. Exoin, Florziel, Perdita, and Camillo. I understand the business, I hear it. To have an open ear, a quick eye, and a nimble hand is necessary for a cut purse. A good news is requisite also to smell out work. The other senses. I see this is the time that the unjust man doth thrive. What an exchange had this been without boot? What a boot is there with this exchange? Sure the gods do this year convive at us, and we may do a thing extempore. The prince himself is about a piece of iniquity, stealing away from his father with his clog at his heels. If I thought it were a piece of honesty to acquaint the king withal, I would not do it. I hold it in the more knavery to conceal it, and therein I am constant to my profession. Aside, here is more matter for a hot brain. Every lane's end, every shop, church, session, hanging, yields a careful man work.
See, what a man you are now. There is no other way but to tell the king she's a changeling and none of your flesh and blood. Nay, but hear me. Go to, then. She being none of your flesh and blood has not offended the king, and so your flesh and blood is not bound to be punished by him. Show those things you found about her, those secret things, all but what she has with her. This being done, the law go whistle, I warrant you. I will tell the king all, every word, yea, and his son's pranks too, who I may say is no honest man, neither to his father nor to me, to go about to make me the king's brother-in-law. Indeed, brother-in-law was the farthest off you could have been to him, and then your blood had been the dearer by I know how much an ounce.
Very wisely, puppies.
Well, let us to the king. There is that in this fardel that will make him scratch his beard.
I know not what impediment this complaint may be to the flight of my master.
Pray heartily be at palace.
Though I am not naturally honest, I am so sometimes by chance. Let me pocket up my peddler's excrement. Takes off his false beard. How now, rustics? Whither are you bound?
To the palace, and it like your worship.
Your affairs there, what, with whom, the condition of that fardel, the place of your dwelling, your names, your ages, of what having, breeding, and in any other thing that is fitting to be known, discover.
We are but plain fellows, sir.
A lie. You are rough and hairy. Let me have no lying. It becomes none but tradesmen, and they often give us soldiers the lie. But we pay them for it with the stamped coin, not stabbing steel. Therefore, they do not give us the lie.
Your worship had like to have given us one, if you had not taken yourself with the manner. Are you a courtier, ain't like you, sir?
Whether it like me or no, I am a courtier. Seest thou not the air of court in these enfoldings? Hath not my gait in it the measure of court? Receives not thy nose court odor from me? Reflect I not thy baseness court contempt? Thinkest thou, for that I insinuate or toas from thee thy business, I am therefore no courtier? I am a courtier, Capapi, and one that will either push or pluck back thy business there, whereupon I command thee to open thy affair.
My business, sir, is to the king.
What advocate hast thou to him?
I know not, ain't like you. Advocate's the court word for a pheasant. Say you have none. None, sir. I have no pheasant, cock, nor hen.
How blessed are we that are not simple, man. Yet nature might have made me as these are, therefore I will not disdain.
This cannot be but a great courtier. His garments are rich, but he wears them not handsomely. He seems to be more noble in being fantastical. Great man, I'll warrant. I know by the picking on his teeth.
The fardel there, what's the fardel? Wherefore the box?
Sir, there lies such secrets in this fardel and box which none must know but the king, which he shall know within this hour, if I may come to speech of him.
Age, thou hast lost thy labour.
Why, sir?
The king is not at the palace. He is gone abroad a new ship to purge melancholy and air himself. For if thou beest capable of things serious, thou must know the king is full of grief.
So 'tis sad, sir, about his son, that would have married a shepherd's daughter.
If the shepherd be not in handfast, let him fly. The curses he shall have, the tortures he shall feel. Well, break the back of a man, the heart of a monster.
Think you so, sir?
Not he alone shall suffer what wit can make heavy and vengeance bitter, but those that are germane to him, though removed 50 times, shall come under the hangman. Which, though it be a great pity, yet it is necessary. An old sheep-whistling rogue, a ram-tender, to offer to have his daughter come into grace? Some say he shall be stoned, but that death is too soft for him, say I. Draw our throne into a sheepcote? All deaths too few, the sharpest too easy.
Has the old man's heir a son, sir, do you hear? Ain't like you, sir.
He has a son who shall be flayed alive, then anointed over with honey, set on the head of a wasp's nest, then stand till he be 3/4 in a dram dead, then recovered again with aquavitae or some other hot infusion, then raw as he is, and in the hottest day of prognostation proclaims, shall be set against a brick wall, the sun looking with a southward eye upon him, where he is to behold him with flies blown to death. But what talk we of these traitorly rascals, whose miseries are to be smiled at, their offences being so capital? Tell me, for you seem to be honest plain men, what you have to the king. Being something gently considered, I shall bring you where he is aboard, tender your persons to his presence, whisper him in your behalfs, and if it be in man besides the king to effect your suits, here's the man shall do it.
He seems to be of great authority. Close with him. Give him gold, and though authority be a stubborn bear, yet he is oft led by the nose with gold. Show the inside of your purse to the outside of his hand, and no more do. Remember, stoned and flayed alive. And please you, sir, to undertake the business for us. Here is the gold that I have. I'll make it as much more, and leave this young man in pawn till I bring it to you.
After I have done what I promised?
Aye, sir.
Well, give it me the moiety. Are you party in this business?
In some sort, sir, but though my case be a pitiful one, I hope shall not be flayed out of it.
Oh, that's the case of the shepherd's son. Hang him. He'll be made an example.
Comfort, good comfort. We must to the king and show our strange sight. He must know 'tis none of your daughter nor my sister. We are gone else. Sir, I will give you as much as this old man does when the business is performed, and remain, as he says, your pawn till it be brought you.
I will trust you. Walk before towards the seaside. Go on the right hand. I will but look upon the hedge and follow you.
We are blessed in this man, as I may say, even blessed. As before, as he bides us, he was proved to do us good.
If I had a mind to be honest, I see fortune would not suffer me. She drops booties in my mouth. I am courted now on the double occasion, gold and a means to do my prince my master good, which who knows how that may turn back to my advancement. I'll bring these two moles, these blind ones, aboard him, if he think it fit to shore them again, and that the complaint they have to the king concerns him nothing. Let him call me rogue for being so far officious. For I am proof against the title, and what shame else brings to it. To him will I present them. There may be matter in it. Act 5, Scene 1. A room in Leontes' palace. Enter Leontes, Cleomenes, Dion, Paulina, and servants.
Sir, you have done enough, and have performed a saint-like sorrow. No fault could make which you have not redeemed. Indeed, pay down more penitence than done trespass at the last. Do as the heavens have done. Forget your evil. With them forgive yourself. Whilst I remember her and her virtues, I cannot forget my blemishes in them, and so still think of the wrong I did myself, which was so much. The heiress it hath lied my kingdom and destroyed the sweetest companion that e'er man bred his hopes out of.
True, too true, my lord. If one by one you wedded all the world, or from the all that are took something good to make a perfect woman, she you killed would be unparalleled.
I think so. Killed. She I killed. I did so. But thou strikest me sorely to say I did. It is as bitter upon thy tongue as in my thought. How good thou say so, but seldom. Not at all, good lady. You might have spoken 1,000 things that would have done the time more benefit and grace to kindness better.
You are one of those would have him wed again. If you would not so, you pity not the state, nor the remembrance of his most sovereign name. Consider little what dangers by his highness's fail of issue may drop upon his kingdom and devour in certain lookers on. What were more holy than to rejoice the former queen as well? What holier than for royalty's repair, for present comfort, and for future good, to bless the bed of majesty again with a sweet fellow to it? There is none worthy, respecting her that's gone. Besides, the gods will have fulfilled their secret purposes. For has not the divine Apollo said, is not the tenor of his oracle that King Leonidas should not have an heir till his lost child be found? which that it shall is all as monstrous to our human reason as my antagonist to break his grave and come again to me, who all my life did perish with the infant. 'Tis your counsel, my lord, should go to the heavens, be contrary, oppose against their wills. Cannot for issue the crown will find an heir. Great Alexander left his to the worthiest, so his successor was like to be the best.
Good Paulina, who hast the memory of Hermione, I know in honor oh that ever I had squandered me to thy counsel. Then even now I might look upon my queen's full eyes, taking treasure from her lips.
And left them more rich for what they yielded.
Thou speakest truth. No more wives, therefore no wife, one worse. And better used would make her sainted spirit again possess her corpse, and on this stage where we're offenders now appear soul vexed, and begin why to me?
Had she such powers, she had just cause.
She had, and when since me to murder her I married.
I should so. Were I the ghost that walked, I'd bid you mark her eye and tell me for what dull part in it you chose her. Then I'd shriek, then even your ears should rift to hear me, and the words that followed should be, remember mine.
Stars, stars, and all eyes else dead coals, fear thou no wife. I'll have no wife, Paulina.
Will you swear never to marry, but by my free leave?
Never, Paulina. So bless my spirit.
Then, good my lords, bear witness to his oath.
You tempt him overmuch.
Unless another, as like Hermione as is her picture, affront his eyes.
Good madam,
I have done. Yet if my lord will marry, if you will, sir, no remedy but you will, give me the office to choose your queen. She shall not be so young as was your former, but shall be such as walked your first queen's ghost. It should take joy to see you in her arm, to see her in your arms.
my true Paulina, we shall not marry till thou bidst us.
That shall be then your first queen's again in breath, never till then.
And a gentleman. One that gives out himself Prince Florizel, son of Polyxenes, with his princess, she the fairest I have yet beheld, desires access to your high presence.
What with him? He comes not like to his father's greatness. His approach so out of circumstance and sudden tells us 'tis not a visitation framed, but forced by need and accident. What train?
But few, and those but mean.
His princess, say you with him?
Ay, the most peerless piece of earth, I think, that e'er the sun shone bright on.
O Hermione, at every present time doth boast itself above a better gone, so must thy grave give way to what's seen now. Sir, you yourself have said and read so, but your writing now is colder than that theme. She had not been, nor was not to be equalled. Thus your verse flowed with her beauty once. 'Tis truly apt to say you have seen her better.
Pardon, madam, the one I have almost forgot. Your pardon. The other, when she had obtained your eye, will have your tongue too. This is a creature, would she begin to a sect, might quench the zeal of all professors, else make proselytes of those who she would bid follow.
How? Not women?
Women will love her that she is a woman more worth than any man, men that she is the rarest of all women.
Go, Cleomenes. Yourself assisted with honored friends, bring them to our embracement. Still, 'tis strange. He thus should steal upon us.
Had our prince, jewel of children, seen this hour, he'd have paired well with this lord. There was not full a month between their births.
Prithee no more. Cease.
Thou knowest he dies to me again when talked of. Sure, when I shall see this gentleman, my speeches will bring me to consider that which may unfurnish me of reason. They are come. Your mother was most true to wedlock, prince, for she did print your royal father of conceiving you. Were I but 21, your father's image is so hid in you, his very air, that I should call you brother, as I did him. Speak of something wildly by us performed before. Most dearly welcome. And your fair princess. Goddess, oh alas, uh, I lost a couple that twixt heaven and earth must thus stood, begetting wonder as you, gracious couple, do. And then I lost, oh, my own folly, the society, amity too, of your brave father, whom, though bearing misery, I desire my life once more look on him. By his command have I here touched Cecilia, and from him give you all greetings, that a king at friend can send his brother. And but infirmity which waits upon worn times hath something seized his wished ability. He had himself the lands and waters twixt your throne, and his measure to look upon you, whom he loves, he bade me say so, more than all scepters and those that bear them living. Oh, my brother, good gentleman, the wrongs I have done thee stir fresh within me, and these thy offices so rarely kind are as interpreters of my behindhand slackness. Welcome hither, as is the spring to the earth, and hath he too exposed this paragon to the fearful usage, at least ungentle, of the dreadful Neptune, to greet a man not worth her pains, much less the adventure of a person? Good my lord, she came from Libya. Where the warlike Smollers, that noble honoured lord, is he feared or loved? Most royal sir, from thence, and from him whose daughter his tear proclaimed parting with her, thence a prosperous south wind friendly, we have crossed to execute the charge my father gave me for visiting your highness. My breast train I have from your Sicilian shores dismissed, who for Bohemia bend, to signify not only my success in Libya, sir, but my arrival and my wife's in safety. Hence, here we are. The blessed gods purge all infection from our air whilst you do climb it here. You have a holy father, a graceful gentleman, against whose person, so sacred as it is, I have done sin, for which the heavens, taking angry note, have left me issueless. And your father's blessed, as he from heaven merits it, with you worthy his goodness. And what I have been, might I a son and daughter now, have looked on such goodly things as you.
Most noble sir, that which I report will bear no credit, were not their proof so high. Please you, great sir, Bohemia greets you from himself by me, desires you to attach his son, who has his dignity and duty both cast off, fled from his father, from his hopes, and with a shepherd's daughter.
Where's Bohemia? Speak.
Here in your city, I now come from him. I speak amazedly, and it becomes my marvel and my message. To your court, while he was hastening in the chase, it seems, of this fair couple, meets he on the way the father of this seeming lady and her brother, having both their country quitted with this young prince.
Camillo has betrayed me, whose honours and whose honesty to now endure at all weathers.
Lay it so to his charge, he's with the king your father.
Who? Camillo?
Camillo, sir, I spake with him, who now has these poor men in question. Never saw I wretches so quick. They kneel, they kiss the earth, forswear themselves as often as they speak. Bohemia stops his ears and threatens them with divers deaths in death.
Oh, my poor father, the heavens set spies upon us will not have our contract celebrated.
You are married? We are not, sir. No. All we like to be, the stars I see will kiss the valleys first. The odds for highs and lows alike. My lord, is this the daughter of a king? She is, but once she is my wife. That once, I see by your good father's speed, will come on very slowly. I am sorry, most sorry. You have broken from his liking where you were tied in duty, and as sorry, your choice is not so rich in worth as beauty, that you might well enjoy her. Dear, look up. The fortune visible and enemy should chase us with my father. Power no jot hath she to change our loves. Beseech you, sir, remember since you owed no more to time than I do now, with thought of such affections, step forward mine advocate at your request. My father will grant precious things as trifles. Would he do so, I'd beg your precious mistress, which he counts but a trifle.
Sir, my liege, your eye hath too much youth in it. Not a month for your queen died. She was more worth such gazes than what you look on now.
I thought of her, even in these looks I made. But your petition is yet unanswered. I will to your father. Your honor not overthrown by your desires, I am friend to them and you, upon which errand I now go toward him. Therefore follow me, and mark what way I make. Come, good my lord.
Act 5, Scene 2. Before Leonate's palace. Enter Italicus and gentlemen. Beseech you, sir, where you present at this relation. I was by the opening of the fardell, heard the old shepherd deliver the manner how he found it, whereupon, after a little amazedness, we were all commanded out the chamber. Only this methought I heard the shepherd say, he found the child. I would most gladly know the issue of it. I make a broken delivery of the business, but the changes I perceived in the king and Camilla were very notes of admiration. They seemed almost with staring on one another to tear the cases of their eyes. There was speech in their dumbness, language in their very gesture. They looked as they had heard of a world ransomed, or one destroyed. A notable passion of wonder appeared in them, but the wisest beholder that knew no more but seen could not say if the importance were joy or sorrow. But in the extremity of the one it must needs be. Here comes a gentleman that happily knows more. The news, Rogero.
Nothing but bonfires. The oracle is fulfilled. The king's daughter is found. Such a deal of wonder is broken out within this hour that ballad makers cannot be able to express it. Here comes the Lady Paulina's steward. He can deliver you more. How goes it now, sir? This news, which is called true, is so like an old tale that the verity of it is in strong suspicion. Has the king found his heir?
Most true, if ever truth were pregnant by circumstance, that which you hear you'll swear, you'll see. There is such unity in the proofs, the mantle of Queen Hermione's, her jewel about the neck of it, the letter of Antigonus found with it, which they know to be his character, the majesty of the creature in resemblance of the mother, the affection of nobleness which nature shows above her breeding, and many other evidences proclaim her with all certainty to be the king's daughter. Do you see the meeting of the two kings?
Oh,
Then have you lost a sight which was to be seen, cannot be spoken of? There might you have beheld one joy crown another, so and in such a manner that it seemed sorrow wept to take leave of them, for their joy waded in tears. There was a casting up of eyes, holding of hands, with countenances such great distraction that they were to be known by garments, not by favor. Our king being ready to leap out of himself of joy for his daughter found, as if were joy were now become a loss, cries, "Oh, thy mother, thy mother!" Then asks Bohemia forgiveness, then embraces his son-in-law, then again worries he his daughter with clipping her. Now he thanks the old shepherd, which stands By like a weather-bitten conduit of many kings' reigns, I never heard of such an encounter, which Lame's report to follow it and undoes description to do it.
What pray you became of Antigonus that carried hence the child?
Like an old tale still, which we'll have matter to rehearse. Though credit be asleep and not an ear open, he was torn to pieces with a bear. This vouches the shepherd's son, who has not only his innocence, which seems much to justify him, but a handkerchief and rings of his that Paulina knows.
What became of his bark and his followers?
Wrecked the same instant of the master's death, and in the view of the shepherd, so that all the instruments which aided to expose the child were even then lost when it was found. But oh, the noble combat that twixt joy and sorrow was fought in Paulina. She had one eye declined for the loss of her husband. The elevated that the oracle was fulfilled. She lifted the princess from the earth and so locks her in embracing as if she would pin her to her heart that she might no more be in danger of losing.
The dignity of this act was worth the audience of kings and princes, for by such was it acted.
One of the prettiest touches of all, and that which angled from mine eyes caught the water, though not the fish, was when, at the relation of the queen's death, but the manner how she came to it bravely confessed and lamented by the king, how attentiveness wounded his daughter, till for one sign of dolour to another she did, with an alas, I would fain say bleed tears, for I am sure my heart wept blood. Who was most marble their changed colour, some swooned, all sorrowed. If all the world could have seen it, the woe had been universal.
Are they returned to the court?
No, the princess hearing of her mother's statue, which is in the keeping of Paulina, peace many years in doing, and now newly performed by that rare Italian master, Giulio Romano, who, had he himself eternity, and could but breathe into his work, would beguile nature of her custom. So perfectly he is her ape. He so near to Hermione hath done Hermione that they say one would speak to her and stand in hope of answer, till with all greediness of affection are they gone, and there they attend to sup.
I thought she'd had some great matter there in hand, for she hath privately twice or thrice a day, ever since the death of Hermione, visited that removed house. Shall we thither, and with our company piece the rejoicing?
Who would be hence that has the benefit of access? Every wink of an eye some new grace will be born. Our absence makes us unthrifty to our knowledge. Let's along. Now had I not the dash of my former life in me, would preferment drop on my head. I brought the old man and his son aboard the prince, told him I heard them talk of the fardel, and I know not what. But he at the time, over fond of the shepherd's daughter, so he then took her to be, who began to be much seasick, and himself a little better, extremity of weathering continue, this mystery remained undiscovered. But 'tis all one for me, for had I been the finder out of this secret, it would not have relished among my other discredits. Here comes those I have done good to against my will, and already appearing in the blossoms of their fortune.
Come, boy, I am past more children, but thy sons and daughters will be all gentlemen born. You are well met, sir. You denied to fight with me this other day because I was no gentleman born. See you these clothes? Say you see them not, and think me still no gentleman born. You were best say these robes are not gentleman born. Give me that lie, do, and try whether I am not now a gentleman born.
I know you are now, sir, a gentleman born.
Aye, and have been so many times these 4 hours. And so have I, boy. And so you have. But I was a gentleman born before my father, for the king's son took me by the hand and called me brother. And then the 2 kings called my father brother, and then the prince my brother, and the princess my sister called my father father. And so we went, and there was the first gentleman-like tears that ever we shed. We may live, son, shed many more. Aye, and or else 'twere hard luck being in so preposterous a state as we are.
I humbly beseech you, sir, to pardon me all the faults I have committed to your worship, and to give me your good report to the prince your master, my master.
Prithee, son, do, for we must be gentle, now we are gentlemen.
Thou wilt amend thy life?
Aye, and it good like good your worship.
Give me thy hand, I will swear to the prince thou art as honest a true fellow as any is in Bohemia.
You may say it, but don't swear it.
Not swear it, now I am a gentleman. Let Morris and Franklin say it, I'll swear it.
How if it be false, son?
If it be ne'er so false, a true gentleman may swear it in behalf of his friend, and I'll swear to the prince thou art a tall fellow of thy hands, and that thou wilt not be drunk. But I know thou art no tall fellow of thy hands, and thou wilt be drunk. But I'll swear it, and I would thou wouldst be a tall fellow of thy hands.
I will prove so, sir, to my power.
Aye, by any means prove a tall fellow. If I do not wonder how thou darest venture to be drunk, not being a tall fellow. Trust me not. Hark! The kings and the princes, our kindred, are going to see the queen's picture. Come, follow us. We'll be thy good masters.
Act 5, Scene 3. A chapel in Paulina's house. Enter Leontes, Polizines, Florziel, Perdita, Camillo, Paulina, lords, and a shit ton of attendants.
Oh, grave and good Paulina, great comfort that I have had of thee.
But, sovereign sir, I did not well, I meant well. All my services you have paid home, but that you have vouchsafed with your crowned brother and these your contracted heirs of your kingdoms, my poor house to visit. It is a surplus of your grace, which never my life may last to answer.
Oh, Paulina, we honor you with trouble, but we came to see the statue of our queen. Your galley have we passed through, not without much content and many singularities, but we saw not that which my daughter came upon to look upon, a statue of her mother.
As she lived peerless, so her dead likeness, I do well believe, excels whatever yet you looked upon, or hand of man hath done. Therefore I keep it lonely, apart. But here it is, prepared to see the life as lively mocked as ever, still sleep mocked death. Behold, and say 'tis well. Paulina draws a curtain and discovers Hermione standing like a statue. I like your silence, it the more shows off your wonder. But yet speak. First, you, my liege, comes it not something near?
A natural posture. Chide me, dear stone, that I may say indeed thou art Hermione, or rather thou art she in thy not chiding, for she was as tender as infancy and grace. But yet, Paulina, Hermione was not so much wrinkled, nothing so aged as this seems.
Not by much.
So much more our carver's excellence, which lets go by some 16 years and makes her as she lived now.
As now she might have done. So much to my good comfort as he is now piercing to my soul. Oh, that she stood even with such life of majesty, all life, as now it coldly stands when first I wooed her. I am ashamed. Does not the stone rebuke me for being more stone than it? O royal peace, there's magic in thy majesty, which has my evils conjured to remembrance, and from thy admiring daughter took the spirits, standing like stone with thee.
And give me leave, and do not say 'tis superstition that I kneel and then implore. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. And give me leave, and do not say 'tis superstition that I kneel and then implore her blessing. Lady, dear queen, that ended when I but began, give me that hand of yours to kiss. Oh, patience, the statue is but newly fixed, the color's not dry.
My lord, your sorrow was too sore laid on, which 16 winters cannot blow away. So many summers dry, scarce any joy did ever so long live, no sorrow, but killed itself much sooner. Dear my brother, let him that was the cause of this have power to take off so much grief from you as he will piece it up himself.
Indeed, my lord, if I had thought the sight of my poor image would thus have wrought you, for the stone is mine, I'd not have shown it to it.
Do not draw the curtain.
No longer shall you gaze on it, lest your fancy may think anon it moves.
Let be, let be. I were dead, but that methinks already. What was he that did make it? See, my lord, would you not deem it breathed? That those veins did verily bear blood?
Master Lidon, the very life seems warm upon her lip.
The fixture of her eye has motion in it. So we are mocked with art.
I'll draw the curtain. My lord's almost so far transported that he'll think anon it lives.
Oh, sweet Paulina, make me think so 20 years together. No settled senses of the world can match the pleasure of that madness. Let it alone.
I am sorry, sir. I have thus far stirred you, but I could afflict you farther.
Do, Paulina, for this affliction has a taste as sweet as any cordial comfort. Still, methinks there is an air comes from her. A fine chisel could ever cut breath. Let no man mock me, for I will kiss her.
Good my lord, forbear. The ruddiness upon her lip is wet. You'll mar it if you kiss it. Stain your own with oily painting. Shall I draw the curtain?
No, not these 20 years.
So long could I stand by, a looker on.
Either forbear, quit presently the chapel, or resolve you for more amazement. If you can behold it, I'll make the statue move indeed, descend, and take you by the hand, but then you'll think, which I protest against, I am assisted by wicked powers.
Isn't that Paulina's line?
Right. Sorry.
And take two. Either forbear, quit presently the chapel, or resolve you for more amazement. If you can behold it, I'll make the statue move indeed, descend, and take you by the hand. But then you'll think, which I protest against, I am assisted by wicked powers.
What you can make her do, I am content to look on. What to speak, I am content to hear. For 'tis as easy to make her speak as move.
It is required you do awake your faith, then all stand still. On that, think it is unlawful business I'm about. Let them depart.
Proceed, no foot shall stir.
Music, awake her, strike! 'Tis time descended. Bestow no more. Approach, strike all that look upon with marvel. Come, I'll fill your grave up. Stir, nay, come away. Bequeath to death your numbness, for from him dear life redeems you. You perceive she stirs. Start not. Her action shall be holy as you hear my spell is lawful. Do not shun her until you see her die again, for then you kill her double. Nay, present your hand. When she was young, you'd woo her. Now in age, is she become the suitor?
Oh, she's warmed. If this be magic, let it be an art lawful as eating.
She embraces him. She hangs about his neck. If she pertain to life, let her speak too. Aye, and make manifest where she has lived, or how stolen from the dead.
That she is living, were it but told you, should be hooted at like an old tale. But it appears she lives, though yet she speak not. Mark a little while. Please you to interpose, fair madam. Kneel and pray your mother's blessing. Turn, good lady, or Perdita is found. You gods, look down from your sacred phials, pour your graces upon my daughter's head. Tell me, my own, where hast thou been preserved? Where lived? How found thy father's court? For thou shalt hear that I, knowing by Paulina that the oracle gave hope that thou wast in being, having preserved myself to see the issue. There's time enough for that. lest they desire upon this push to trouble your joys with lack relation. Go together, you precious winners all, your exaltation partake to everyone. Ah, an old turtle will wing me to some withered bough, and there my mate, that never to be found again, lament I am lost.
Oh, peace, Paulina. Thou shouldst a husband take by my consent, as I by thine a wife. This is a match and made betweens by vows thou hast found mine. But how is to be questioned, for I saw her as I thought dead, and have in vain said many a prayer upon her grave. I'll not seek far. For him I partly know his mind. To find thee an honourable husband, come, Camillo, and take her by the hand, whose worth and honesty is richly noted and here justified by us, a pair of kings, let from this place what look upon my brother, both your pardons, that ere I put between your holy looks my ill suspicion. This is your son-in-law, and son unto the king, whose heavens directing his troth plight to your daughter, good Paulina, lead us from hence, where we may leisurely each one demand an answer to his part, performed in this wide gap of time, since first we were dissevered, hastily lead away.
And fall curtain. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, there are so many things about this play that are just like, what the heck is going on? Also, bears. But
I seriously want some of what Bill was smoking when he did this.
I mean, it's a. I have a lot of questions. I have so many questions. But we'll go around. Everyone say where they can find you online. All those wonderful things. Kat, thank you. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I do love doing these. These are so much fun. Shakespeare's one of my favorites. You've introduced me to so many more plays beyond Shakespeare, and this was great. This was fun. My name is Kat. I am at Cleric of Court, and I play games on the internet with my friends. This week, starting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Other Docs channel with Jim, playing Masks with our GM Motholu. It's a lot of fun. We're just getting ready to start our second story arc, so please come join us. And then Thursday at let's see, notes 11:30 Pacific, which makes it 2:30 Eastern and 7:30 UK time. I can do the math. Second episode of Shadowrun on the Lawful Geeks channel. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm playing a street shaman named Nico, and we are sticking it to the man, maybe.
I mean, it is the question of Shadowrun. So many questions.
So many.
So many. Pope! Thank you!
Thank you for having me. Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of this ridiculous face, you'll get a couple of chances through the week. Be here, not just tomorrow, Thursday, but Friday. Friday, I will be here for what is my is it the troublesome fave of Shakespeare? Is it it might be the troublesome fave. As Hamlet gets performed. So yes, well, all sorts of terrible, awful, geopolitical, fantastical things happen. And speaking of the fantastical, over on Matev 7's channel on Sundays at 9:30 Eastern, we get down with the neon, the dreadful beat of DJ Strahd, where we're going to see the ramifications of WrestleMania when we come back to Moravia. So it's gonna be a time. Definitely don't miss it. But thank you all so much Prax, thank you for putting this on and giving us some cultural respite in this day and age that we now live in. These interesting times. Um, and also just thank all of you for coming here and being part of this amazing community. Love you all. Take care. See you all very soon.
Yes, indeedy. We will see Pope again on Friday as we continue our week of Shakespeare. Tomorrow we continue our week of Shakespeare with another play that is a fun times, Troilus and Cressida. And if you've never heard of that, it's William Shakespeare trying to write a love story in the middle of the Trojan War. Yes, it's everything you think it is, and so much more. And then Thursday, here on the channel, we are going to be doing one of my favorite plays from the history plays, Henry V. Because
Swoon.
we just need more Henry Plantagenet, at least that Henry Plantagenet, unfortunately. And then Friday, as Pope said, we are going to do Hamlet, all of it, and it'll be so much fun. We hope to see you here. We'll be a really great group of people who are going to be here. As for me, you can also find me tomorrow night over on Tales from the Grim as we dive right back into season 2 premiere for Witcher Family of Wraiths. And if you don't think that we are stressed, let me remind you that right now we have 3 Witchers, an elf, and an unconscious sorceress on the plains outside of Novigrad. And
Also,
this is the safer location?
Also, by all means, look over at Tales from the Grim channel as they have posted new donations for the new season.
Yes.
Joy!
That is a thing that's also happening. New donations, new fun things. Come join us tomorrow night for that. But if you also like Witcher, I'm going to shill for Simon for a second because tonight is his season 1 episode, his episode 1 for his side of the story for their Witcher side, Witcher Legacy. And then on Thursday night, you can find me over on Simon's channel, Wandering DM, for more Dragon Age fun, The Search for Anders, which we left rails a long time ago, and now we are just enjoying the buddy cop film that is Mavia and Iron Bull, and the awkward flirting between Fenris and Harrell. And possibly Verisa being just a total troll to everybody. But we haven't figured it out. It'll be great. And wonderful Cypher of Tears running that game. She is doing a fabulous job, and I can't wait for you all to see what's going on. And then Friday, I'll be over on Simon's channel for some more cyberpunk fun. It'll be great. I'm probably not going to get shot again. Hopefully, question mark. Also, keep an eye out on my Twitter because there might be something happening this weekend, but I have to wait and see what happens. And other than that, we love you all. We hope you enjoy these. Oh, wait, I have a new thing to say because I've did this over the weekend. I has a new command now, y'all. There's this thing called YouTube. It exists. There are now VODs going up of these performances, and that you can check out if you've missed any. Unfortunately, the first 2 were not available, but you can pick right up after that and start with. As we go, they'll be added up there. So thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And as we say, although the curtain falls for tonight, it will rise again on the stage for tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.